Okay, are we up and running? Okay. Good morning, everybody. My name is Keith Davis. I'm calling to order the City of West Palm Beach Special Magistrate hearing for November 6, 2024. It's a little after 9 o'clock in the morning. Please silence your cell phones if you have any on you so they don't interrupt our proceedings, and that will be appreciated. If you are going to be speaking to me about any of the items on the city's agenda this morning, your testimony needs to be sworn, which means I need to place you under oath. I can swear everybody in at the same time, so if you'll all please stand, raise your right hands if you'll be testifying. Each of you swear or affirm under penalties of perjury that your testimony in today's hearing will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Thank you. You can all have a seat. When your case is called, if you're a respondent, please come up to the podium over here to my right. The way I'm going to proceed with each case is first I'm going to hear from the city. They'll likely present one or more witnesses for each case and give me testimony about the alleged violations. And there may be documents or photographs that are displayed on the monitors. You'll have an opportunity to see once the city's concluded its presentation, including making any recommendations to me on how it believes the case should be handled. I will then come back to you. It'll be your opportunity to tell me about the case from your point of view. If you have questions for the city's witnesses, you're entitled to ask those questions. If not, you can simply tell me about the case from your point of view. In the event you brought additional documents or photographs that you would like me to consider regarding your case, that will be the time to produce those. I'll have you show them to the city first, and then I'll take a look at them. Once I've heard everything from everybody about the case, in all likelihood this morning I will enter an order that resolves the matter in some form or fashion. So that is generally how we will proceed. Let's go ahead and get started with the first case we're going to call.
All right, starting with the building cases, case number 1, CEBLD 24030533, case address 532 34th Street. And I believe we have a respondent in Elisa.
Yeah, good morning.
Okay, if you want to approach.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm a building inspector. My name is Raymond Stevenson. I work for the City of West Palm Beach. The code case is CEBLD 24030533. The address where the violation occurred is 432 34th Street. The violation I observed is the roof work started without a permit. I issued a violation and posted the stop work order on the job on the 2nd of 29th, 24. The notice of violation was mailed via certified mail and a regular mail on the 10th of the 4th, 24. Was posted at the City Hall on the 10th of the 7th, 24. Was posted on the property on the 10th of the 4th, 24. The certified mail delivery, I believe, was not picked up on the 10th of the 16th, 24. State observation to support each violations. You are alleging roof started without a permit, demo of shingles, new underlayment installed, Florida Building Code 105.1, and also requires inspections, Florida Building Code 110.3. The pictures shown truthfully and accurately depict the allergies, violations, and reflect what I am testing to. Permits and inspections are required for the work I observed and what is displayed in the pictures shown. Permits have not been applied for. Permits have been, I believe permits have been applied for. It's still in review at the moment. Permits have not been issued. Inspections have not been performed. Included in my file is a copy of the notice of violation and the affidavit of posting. I have not had contact with the owner and contractor. The result of the No, I have had contact with the homeowner. The result of the contact the homeowner, what I'm seeing is the permit application is still under review. So she has applied for the permit. I believe it's under the change of contract. So she's doing everything she can. But it's been going on for like 3-4 months. So it's time to appear here. The city recommends 120 days to comply with a $50 per day after that. The time to bring the alleged violations into compliance is I believe is a reasonable amount of time. I am submitting as evidence a copy of this case file, including all documents relied on. Any questions?
Good morning, Inspector
Good morning.
Stevenson. Did you take the photos that we've seen here?
Yes.
You took them yourself?
I did.
And you said 120 days is what you're asking for the property owner to come
I
into
think
compliance?
it's because it's now in plan review now. I don't think I think 120 days is going to be more than enough.
So you think it's a reasonable amount of time?
I believe so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Special Magistrate, I'd like to enter the case file, including the photos and testimony into evidence, barring any objection.
Yeah, the case file is part of the record. Let me ask a clarifying question. What is the city's expectations within the 120 days to get the permit issued and the work done and inspected and everything closed out? Is that what we're
Yes,
talking about?
I'm expecting, yes, for the permits, to get the permit card and the job to be done well within 100
Okay. And this is
20
roof
days.
work, is that correct?
Yes, roof, yes.
Okay.
Just generally it takes them a week. If
I beg your pardon?
generally the roofers take a maximum of 1 week to install.
Okay, anything else from the city before I hear from the property owner?
No.
Right. Yes, ma'am, if you could put your name and address into the record, and then you can tell me, you'll have the floor to ask questions or tell me about the case.
Okay, Alisa Reed, 432 34th Street.
Yes, ma'am.
The company that I originally contracted with was an illegitimate company, a fraudulent company, and I found out once they started the work with no permit.
Okay.
I was the one who called Richard Brunel and asked them to put a stop work order on my house so that they could not come on my property anymore.
I see.
And then it took, I filed complaints with the DBPR, the BBB, the Department of Fraud, and the Department of Insurance with Florida, and they all started cases, and nothing came of them. So I had to wait for the fraudulent company's NOC to expire in September of 2024 before I could contract with another company. So I now have Neil Roofing. They've applied for a permit. It has to go through historic, as you all know. But I've made the deposit with them and we're moving the roof forward. But it has been a really hard process dealing with the illegitimate company. So.
Sure. In talking with the company you've contracted with, do you have a comfort level that the 120 days is going to be enough time? And based on what you're telling me, I do not want to set this up for failure.
No, I don't want it to, I'm over it right now.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
been a lot. I think they can do it, but it really depends on planning and historic. I don't know if, what their timelines look like right now.
This is has to go through the historic process as well.
Yeah.
Just ask the city. Is the city completely comfortable that 120 days is enough time to get this through the process? I mean, based on what I've heard, this property owner has done everything that could possibly be expected of someone in that
Yeah.
circumstance.
If it's okay, can I change it to 150 just because of the historical? Can I change it to 150 days?
I want to be completely comfortable, and I will also tell you. So I think I will do 150 days, which is 5 months, but that should be enough time. But if it's not, please stay in touch with the city. Ask for an opportunity to come back and request additional time if, despite your best efforts, it's not going to happen, because I do not want to see this run into a daily fine scenario.
Me either.
All right, then, is there anything else you'd like to tell me before I enter the order in this case?
No, thank you.
All right, yes, ma'am. Anything else from the city?
No, thank you.
Okay, then the city has proper notice, responding as present at today's hearing. Based on the testimony and the evidence, there is a violation as cited. I'm going to set compliance for 150 days, which we're gonna call that, April 6th is a Sunday, so why don't we say, April 7th is a Monday, 2025. That's about 5 months out. And then the order will reflect if compliance is not achieved by that date, daily fines of $50 per day until compliance is met. But again, please, if you need more time, despite best efforts, stay in touch and ask. All right, thank you, ma'am, good luck. Before we call the next case, none of these monitors up here are on. Is there any way that I can get this turned on? It's very difficult to look through the plexiglass and see the monitors on the side. So we can proceed. I mean, I can make do till we get this turned on. I don't want to delay the process anymore, but if we can get someone working on that, that'll be helpful. But you can call the next case.
All right, case number 6, CEBLD 231000457, case address 725 High Street.
Good morning.
Morning.
I'm Kevin Pennington, building inspector for the City of West Palm Beach. The code case is CEBLD 231000457. The address where the violation occurred is 725 High Street. The violation I observed was the construction of a rear covered wooden deck. I issued the violation and stop work order on the property October 27th, 2023. The notice of violation was mailed via certified mail and regular mail on October 24th, 2024, and it was posted at the City Hall on October 4th, 2024. It was posted on the property on October 4th, 2024, and the certified mail was delivered on October 28th, 2024. To support my observations of the violation was staged lumber under the carport with newly constructed deck with roof, railings, and steps. The photos being shown are truthfully and accurately depict the alleged violation and reflect what I'm testifying to. The permits and inspections required for the work I observed and for what is displayed in the photos shown. Permits have been applied for, permits have not been issued, inspections have not been performed. In my file is a copy of the notice of violation and the affidavit of posting. I've had contact with the owner, and the results of the contact are that the owner was having issues finding the right contractor to do the work. City recommends 120 days to comply and $50 fine after that.
Thank you, Officer Pennington. Do you believe 120 days is a reasonable amount of time for the property owner to come into compliance for these violations?
Actually, can I change it to 150 days, seeing as we're on the holiday season, with Thanksgiving and Christmas, give them plenty of time to go through plan review and you get that all settled.
So considering the circumstances in the season, you believe 150 days is a reasonable time to get into compliance?
I believe so. The work has been done, so it's just a case of the engineering and the permit plan review.
Okay.
And then the inspection should go fast.
Thank you, sir. The city would like to enter the case file, including the photos and the testimony of the officer, into evidence, barring any objection.
All right, case file is part of the record. Just a clarifying question. Did you say that the permit had been applied for yet?
Yes.
It just hasn't been issued yet?
It was submitted Friday.
Okay.
You come in contact with the contractor, yeah.
And we're talking about both the deck and the roof structure that was above the deck, or
Yeah, it's all in one.
back porch looking area is what we're talking about?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. Yes, ma'am, if you could tell me your name and address, and then the floor is yours to either ask questions or tell me about the case.
Gloribel Torres, 725 High Street.
Yes, ma'am.
The house is being closed. I don't live at the property. But now we're getting on it. I've been having the wrong people. I have been charged to do work and nobody show up. It's just, I don't understand what is the process per se. But now, finally, I was able to get into an engineer company.
Okay.
Give the deposit right away. I begged them to start as soon as possible. So we were able to sign the contract on November 1st. So
Excellent.
they're working on this time. They
Okay.
have all the information. They submit the permit even though they're not attaching the required documents, but at least to show by November 1st that we are getting on it. So
Okay, and then April 7th would be the 150 days. That seems to me that should be sufficient time based on your circumstances.
I hope so, yeah. I
Yeah.
don't have any acknowledge of how long did they take but I hope so.
Well, and I'll tell you the same thing I said in the case before yours. If despite your best efforts and good
Yes.
faith attempts, you need more time, stay in touch with the city and ask for an opportunity to come back and
Yes.
request that. And I'd consider that if need be. All right? Anything else you'd like to tell me, ma'am?
No.
No, anything else from the
Finally,
city?
I'm getting into something, that's all.
I beg your pardon?
Or finally, I'm happy to get in contact with
yes.
some real company, so
Nope,
I'm happy.
yes, thank you very much. Anything else from the city?
No, sir.
Okay, the city has proper notice with the certified mail, and respondent is present at this morning's hearing. Based on the testimony and the evidence, I do find property remains in violation as cited. We'll set April 7th, 2025 as the compliance deadline. Daily fines of $50 per day will be assessed after that if compliance is not achieved by then. Okay, thank you very much. Good luck, ma'am.
Thank you.
Case number 7, CEBLD 24040570, case address 5520 Georgia Avenue.
I'm Kevin Pennington, Building Inspector for the City of West Palm Beach. The code case is CEBLD 24040570. The address where the violation occurred is 5520 Georgia Avenue. The violation I observed was construction of a covered structure used for a work area for countertop fabrication. I issued the violation and posted the stop work order on the property on April 26, 2024. The notice of violation was mailed via certified mail and regular mail on September 26, 2024, and it was posted at City Hall on October 4th, 2024. I posted it on the property on October 4th, 2024, and the certified mail was held at the post office on October 10th, 2024. To support my observations of each violation, new covered work area with structural framing, roof sheathing, and new roofing. The photos being shown are truthfully and accurately depict the alleged violation and reflect what I'm testifying to. Permits and inspections for the work I observed and for what is displayed and photos shown. Permits have been applied for, permits have not been issued, inspections have not been performed. Included in my file is a copy of the notice of violation and the affidavit of posting. I've had contact with the tenants and the contractor. The results are now that the landlord wishes to downsize and remove the structure.
Okay.
City recommends 30 days to comply and a $50 fine after that. It's time to bring the alleged violation into compliance as a reasonable amount of time.
Thank you, sir. The city would like to enter the case file, including the photos and the testimony of the inspector, into evidence, barring any objection.
The city's case file is part of the record in this case, so this is going to just be like a demo permit?
Yeah, it sounds like that's what's going to happen now since my phone call with the contractor on Monday.
Okay, and that's a much quicker turnaround than,
Sure.
always, as they say, it's easier to destroy than to create. So.
Absolutely.
Yes, ma'am, if you could put your name and address into the record, and then the floor is yours to either ask questions or tell me about what's going on with the case.
Ligia Cisterna, 5520 Georgia Avenue.
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
No, I appreciate the 30 days to take down. Unfortunate, due to hardship in the business, we are forced to downsize. So we'll just have to continue to work out of, like those small canopies that open and close.
Okay.
And that
So that's all coming down?
Yes,
And
that
the
is all
demo
coming
permit's
down.
been applied for? All right. and you have a contractor, based on your discussions with your contractor, are you comfortable the 30 days will get you where you need to be? Okay, great. Then anything else you'd like to tell me? Anything else from the city?
Nope.
Okay, in this case, find proper notice, respondent is present, city has proper documents in the file. I will find, based on the evidence, property remains in violation as cited, allow 30 days for compliance. That's, we'll call that December 6th, 2024. Compliance is not achieved by that date, daily fines of $50 per day are assessed until compliance is achieved. All right, good luck, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.
That concludes the contested building cases. Moving on to the regular building. Case number 5, CEBLD 24050576. Case address 300 Elaine Circle East.
Good morning. Richard Burnell, Chief Building Inspector, City West Palm. Case number CEBLD 24050576. The address where the violation occurred, 300 Lane Circle East, West Palm Beach. The violation that I observed was replacing the roof without a permit. Issued the violation and posted a stop work order on the job on May 16th of 2024. Notice of violation, certified mail or regular mail was sent on 10/8/2024, posted at City Hall 10/4/24, was posted on the property October 4th of 2024. Certified mail was, I guess, the attempted delivery, but it was returned on 10/8/2024. The observations that support each violation you're alleging was roofing was replaced without a permit per Florida Building Code 105.1 and required inspections 110.3. The pictures that are shown truthfully and accurately depict the alleged violation and reflect what I am attesting to. Permits and inspections are required for the work I observed and what is displayed in the picture shown. Permits have not been applied for. Permits have not been issued. Inspections have not been performed. Included in the file is a copy of the notice of violation and affidavit posting. I have not had contact with the owner. I did call quite a few times and left messages and had no response. City recommends 60 days to comply and $50 a day after that. The time to bring the alleged violations into compliance is a reasonable amount of time, in my opinion.
Thank you, Mr. Brunel. The city would like to enter the case file, including the photos and the testimony, into evidence, barring any objection.
Okay, is there anybody here on behalf of the respondent for this case? All right. There is not, and you said you had posted and did certified mail on this one? Yeah. All right, I am going to find proper notice even though the respondent is not present. Based on the testimony and the evidence, I will find property remains in violation as cited, accept the city's recommendation, and enter that order. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Case number 8, CEBLD 24070615, case address 1007 Charles Street.
Yes, sir. Okay. I'll keep looking around. You can proceed whenever you're ready.
Okay. Kevin Pennington, Building Inspector for the City of West Palm Beach. The code case is CEBLD 24070615. The address of the violation occurred is 1007 Charles Street. The violation I observed is two stacked shipping containers placed on the property without permits. I issued violation and posted the stop work order on the property on July 23rd, 2024. The notice of violation was mailed via certified mail and regular mail on September 13th, 2024, and it was posted at City Hall on October 9th, 2024. It was posted on the property on October 3rd, 2024. The certified mail was delivered on October 11th, 2024. To support my observations for each of the violation was the photos of the containers on the property. The photos show truthfully and accurately depict the alleged violation and reflect what I'm testifying to. The permits and inspections for the work observed and what is displayed and the photos shown. Permits have been applied for, the permits have not been issued, inspections have not been performed. Included in my file is a copy of the notice of violation and the affidavit of posting. I've had contact with the owner's representative, and the results are that he was given a verbal permission to place the containers. City recommends 150 days to comply and $50 per day fine after that. The time to bring the alleged violations into compliance is a reasonable amount of time. I'm submitting the evidence, the copy of the case file, including the documents relied upon.
Thank you, sir. The city would like to enter the case file, including the photos and testimony, into evidence, barring any objection.
All right, the city's case file is part of the record, so that they're actually stacked.
Yeah.
I've never seen that before.
I believe they purchased them like that, and the interior is already built out, and there's actually, I haven't seen inside, but they actually have stairs according to the plans. So they're like prefab, they're stacking, but
Was that like that when, what was it, Milton came through? Was it stacked up like that when the hurricane came through a couple of weeks ago?
yeah, I
Wow.
believe so, yeah, because it's been there since
That could have
July.
been tragic. So the violation is just the fact of the containers being there.
Yeah.
All right. And you said permits have been applied for? So once a permit's issued, they're good, right? Or do you think the permit is what they're doing, they're permissible if a permit is issued? In other words, could a permit be issued, or are they going to have to reconfigure things?
I think they have a lot of work to do. I previewed the drawings, what they submitted, and their hand drafted drawings of what they're proposing to do. I think they have a challenge in front of them.
I see.
With what they got, with what they're providing. So I think they need more time to get some more architectural drawings together to get through plan review.
Okay. Then, is there anybody here on behalf of the respondent? There's not. City has proper notice with the certified mail and posting, even though the respondent is not present. Based on the testimony and the evidence, find the property remains in violation as cited. I'll accept the city's recommendation and grant that request.
That concludes the building cases. Case number 10, CE 24082573, case address 953 39th Street.
Excuse me.
Good morning, I'm Code
Morning.
Officer KT Weaver with the City of West Palm Beach. While checking a complaint in the area, I observed several violations at 953 39th Street. I took photos of the property which accurately and truthfully depict the violations observed. I initiated my investigation on August the 22nd of 2024, citing the following violations: 74-34-A-1-H, trash can in public view, which has been complied; 94-71C, outdoor storage, which has been complied; 18-106A, clean and sanitary, which has been complied; 78-6-2, numbering location, which has been complied; 94487-B-2, restricted vehicles parked on unpaved surfaces. 18-106-M, maintaining landscape. 78-94-C, swells parkways. 94-482-A, parking requirements. A notice of violation was posted at the property and City Hall on October the 21st of 2024. The affidavit of posting was completed on October the 21st, and a copy was placed in the case file. Certified and regular mail was sent to the mailing address listed on PAPA on August the 29th of 2024. Certified mail was returned. I revisited the property on November the 5th of 2024 and observed the property still in violation of 94-487-B-2, 18-106-M, 78-94-C, and 94-482-A. Reinspection photos were taken on November the 5th of 2024 showing the remaining violations, and they were uploaded to the case. I have spoken with the property owner who requested additional time to gain compliance. The city is requesting an additional 90 days or $100 a day until compliance is achieved.
Thank you, officer. And do you believe 90 days is a reasonable amount of time for the property owner to come into compliance for the alleged violations?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. The city would like to enter the case file, including the photos and the testimony of the officer, into evidence, barring any objection.
Yeah, the city's case file is part of the record. Can you show me what is the restricted vehicle on 94?
Right now, it's covered. It would have to go to my first initial violation photos. There is a RV, a trailer on the left side of the property that's parked on the grass, which I have spoken to them about. So that's in the process of being moved. If not, they're going to put it on, on the square pavers just to get it off of the grass surface. Let's see, there.
But
all
that's
of
still, that's still in violation?
It's there, but now it's shielded. You can't see it, but it's there.
You
but-
haven't inspected to determine compliance yet?
Right, we've spoken, and they're working on that, so we have that understanding.
Okay, I think I was able to observe photographs depicting the other violations that are still out of compliance. Okay. Anything else from the city before I go to the respondent? Yes, ma'am, if you could please tell me your name and address, and then the floor is yours.
Amber Bramley, 953 39th Street.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, good morning. So I've been away from my property for a while. The last 2 years, I've been practically living in Port St. Lucie, taking care of my father who is on hospice.
I see.
So now that I no longer have to be his 24-hour care, I actually have time to be at my property and take care of it. The RV is his. It's in the will. I'm supposed to receive it when he passes. And until that happens, it's in part of, probate or something. I can't do anything with it.
Okay.
When it becomes mine, I plan on selling it, getting rid of it. I don't want it. So the RV won't be there. The little trailer contains my kayaks and any other vehicle that is still there. And even right now, like Ms. Williams said, I'm going to go ahead and jack everything up and put the big pavers underneath it. When it comes to the landscape up front, the grass has been an ongoing problem in the entire time I've owned the property. Every time I plant sod, it slides down the hill because I don't know if you can tell from the pictures, but I have a small grade.
Okay.
And it just keeps dying. So what I would like to propose to do is I would like to, I also have the problem with my driveway that, I don't know if you can tell, but I have a very tiny driveway and two very large vehicles. The pictures where you saw the truck parked up in the grass, that entire month we were having problems with someone breaking into my partner's truck. The truck was brand new, we brought it home, and that following night we parked it on the street. And the following morning, we got up and her back window was busted out. So we started putting it up right in front of the camera, because I have the doorbell camera.
Yeah.
So we were doing that to try and protect her truck temporarily until I figured something out. Now we're parking side by side, and what I wanted to do, I had spoken with Miss Williams about, is to move my driveway, because also on that left side of my house is a large double gate that I think when they rebuilt this new house, they intended on putting a driveway up through there, because that's the only thing that makes sense. So I was going to do that as well, and as I told Ms. Williams, I had started to apply for the permit when it occurred to me finally why they did it that way originally. I think my water main goes right straight up through there. So I was like, oh, that's not good. I can't put a multi-$1,000 driveway and God forbid something happens to my water main and I gotta tear it all out. So I'm kind of in a conundrum of what to do with that situation. So this morning, Ms. Williams and I spoke. I'm going to talk to, what's her
Ms.
name?
Weaver, and she's gonna speak with the landscape planner to work on where the truck is parked, just that little area there, maybe getting some additional pavers there. That way it would bear that part of the truck being parked on the grass.
Okay.
I do have some concerns about time. I hadn't considered the fact that it is the holidays, Thanksgiving and Christmas. I also have to go through the historic planning and get acceptance. I've spoken, when I first bought the house, I spoke with, I think her name is Frederica. She's, I guess, the head of the historic planning. And when I had asked her if I could widen my driveway then, originally when I first bought the house, I was told absolutely not, because that would put me under my 65% green allowance, which is why I then thought about moving the driveway, taking the one that's already in completely out and moving it to the other side, making all that green. And then now I've got the water main issue. So I would like to speak with this lady for landscape planning and see what we can come up with to fix this problem with these large vehicles in a tiny driveway. And also the, you know, timing.
A little bit more, stay on this picture. Yeah,
Um,
right there. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, okay, I'm good.
No,
Okay.
because I just wanted to show him the area, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That area there is, it's, because all the other grass that's on her property, she meets the 65%, but that's why the landscape planner, she's gonna meet with them, that way she can go out, she can see. But where the truck is now, it's about this wide of getting pavers that will at least, then those wheels, because that's the only part of the truck that's on the grass.
Okay.
The rest is on the actual driveway, so just getting pavers there would suffice and would remedy this problem, you know, and that won't be like if she tried to do a whole nother driveway. That part they probably won't let her do, because that would indeed not give her the 65%, but just doing that remedy there, she would meet those requirements to have that done, and that way it would remedy both sides. She would have the 65% and she will also not be parking on the grass. So that's what we had spoken about. And so when I told her she can get with Ms. Kapner and she can come out and she can also verify that, because she is the senior landscape planner.
Okay. I mean, it sounds like there's probably a temporary solution that gets you into compliance, and you may have bigger plans that may take more time, but I think there's probably a way to accomplish the code enforcement piece of this within the 90 days.
We could accept the, Ms. Williams, if the same concept that we're going to use behind the fence to put the pavers, the large pavers, underneath the things in the side yard, could I also do that up the side right there? And then, would that be in compliance?
It will be in compliance, but I don't want to answer that. When you leave here, go across, because by being such a small area, you may not need a permit, but I would have you to check just to make sure.
Okay.
That way, if they say, hey, you're good, then yes, that would remedy that, because then it would not be on the grass.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, is there anything else, ma'am, you'd like to put on the record?
No, sir.
Or anything else from the city?
No, sir.
All right, I am going to find proper notice, respondent is present, city has proper notice documents in the file. Based on the testimony and the evidence, I will find that the property has complied with City Code 7862, 18106A, 9471C, and 7434A1H. Remains in violation of the remaining code sections that were cited in the notice. I am going to accept the city's recommendation. We'll set 90 additional days to cure the outstanding violations. That's February, we're going to call that February 7th, which is a Friday. Compliance is not achieved by that date. Daily fines of $100 per day are assessed until compliance is achieved. So again, I'm going to tell you the same thing I told everybody else. If you're getting close to that 90, and despite your best efforts, you need more time, please ask for an opportunity to come and request more time so that the daily fines don't become an issue for you. Okay, thank you very much.
Very well, thank you, sir.
Case number 13, CE 24072336, case address 821 19th Street.
I think she left her papers here.
I beg your pardon?
I think she left her papers.
Oh, no, that's the agenda. It's supposed to remain there, I think.
Oh, okay.
Good morning. You can proceed
Hey,
whenever you're ready.
good morning. Donald Lattimore, Code Enforcement, City of West Palm Beach. I received a complaint from a tenant living at address 821 19th Street regarding multiple code violations. For example, holes in the roof or the ceiling, clogged toilets, clogged tub, are just some of the violations that were reported to myself. I initiated my investigation on July 19th, 2024. Please note that this parcel has two buildings. Only the building in the back was inspected. During the initial inspection, I observed multiple violations. 18-102-3, that's replacing the screens. 18-103-B, repairing the foundation, the exterior wall, and the roof. 18-103-C, repairing the interior walls, the floor, and the ceiling. 18-103-E, weather tight of the doors and the windows. 18-103-G, repairing and replacing the plumbing fixtures and the pipes, for example, the clogged toilet and the tub that was observed. 18-103-I, repairing and or replacing the window air condition unit. 34-102-A, removing the inoperable vehicle that's in front of the unit. 94-71-C, that was some outside storage around the property. 18-106-A, removing the trash and the debris from the property. 18-106-K, the landscape maintenance, which includes clearing out the landscape in the sodded area. 18-95-A, professionally capping and storing the electrical wires throughout the unit. 18-97-A, replacing the kitchen stove that wasn't properly working. 22-32-A, obtaining a certificate of use. 22-44-1, obtaining a rental license. And 74-34-A-1-H, which is the trash containers that were in public view. The city issued a notice of violation to the property owner, which identified the violations, my contact information, and notice of this hearing date. The notice of violation was noticed by certified mail and regular mail on July 25th, 2024 by the city's clerk. I posted the notice of violation on the property and City Hall on July 25th, 2024. I also completed the affidavit of posting on July 25th, 2024. I revisited the property on October 30th, 2024. and observe the property not to be in compliance with the following code sections. So 18-103-B,
G,
B as in Bravo.
18103B, and so
These are, all the violations that I'm about to list are the ones that are not in compliance.
so you're gonna tell me now which ones are still outstanding?
Yes,
Gotcha,
right,
okay.
right now, you got it.
18103B,
B as in Bravo, 18-103-C as in Charlie, 18-103-E as in Echo, 18-103G as in Golf, 4-102-A,
that's the vehicle,
correct.
okay?
18-106-A,
Okay.
18-106-K,
Landscape maintenance,
22-32-A,
certificate of use,
22-441.
business tax,
Which should bring the total to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 violations that are not in compliance.
all right.
All right. I took the photographs at the initial investigation and when I revisit the property. These photographs accurately and truthfully depict the violations I observed during my investigation, and they show that the violations still exist on property. The property owner is present, and I have made contact with him several times over the phone, and in person, which on the 30th, Tim and I, we went through the entire property on October 30th. So the city is asking for 120 days to gain compliance, which is the equivalent of 4 months. If no compliance, a daily fine of $100 until compliance is achieved.
I'm sorry, the number of daily fine?
Daily fine of 100.
Thank you.
Officer Lattimore, do you believe 120 days is a reasonable amount of time for the property owner to come into compliance for these remaining violations?
I believe so. If the work starts, there's a lot of work that needs to be done, but I personally believe that it can be done in the 4 months.
Thank you, sir. The city would like to enter the case file, including the photos and testimony into evidence, barring any objection.
All right, city's case file is part of the record in this case. Good morning, sir. If you could tell
Morning.
me your name and address, and then the floor is yours to ask questions or tell me about the case.
Yes, my name is Guy Ambrose. My address is 821 19th Street,
Yes, sir.
West Palm. Back in July, the tenant was on the property, was not allowed to be on the property. He did not allow us to do any work on the property. So, by him not paying rent for 4 months, once we filed for eviction, he started calling city, started calling everybody. I obtained a lawyer. We had to evict him. That took a process of like 3 months. I have the eviction letter here. I have everything documented, if you need to see that. After we evict him, after the 2.5, 3 months going back and forth, we went on the property, did most of the work. We tiled it, painted. There was numerous trash on the property. We cleaned the most we can and everything, but we need more time. I went to the city, probably at least 3 times, and they told me it's gonna take at least 180 days, up to 180 days to obtain a permit. And I also was aware at that time that I have to file for a separate property control number for a separate lot for the unit. Because 2 properties on 1 lot.
Okay.
So I'm asking the city for more time because at this point we gotta get a contractor, get permits, do the work. And for as finance, this thing is started costing a whole bunch of money. So we
What
need more time.
what kind of time are you requesting?
Well, the city telling me it's gonna take about 180 days. That's just to get a permit. I need at least 8 months to do all this work. To get permits, to get a contractor, and to have funds to do all this work.
All right, what's the city's response to the request for 8 months?
There is a lot of work that needs to be done. So the city request would be, I'm okay with the 8 months, but can we up the daily fine to $200 per day if not achieved within the 8-month time frame?
Sorry, I'm doing calendaring in my head, November. That would be July. So July 7th is a Monday. That would be what I would call the 8 months. What I'm gonna do, well, let me ask, Mr. Ambrose, do you have anything else you want to put on the record? I have no problem giving you the 8 months until.
Yeah, I like the time. The only thing is $200 a day.
July 7th.
That's a lot of money, you know. We're trying. We apply for the permit. We apply for everything. And it was told to us I could not get the permit. I think, I'm agreeing with everything, but $200 a day is kind of crazy. That's, I mean,
Okay.
It's kind of stiff.
Special Magistrate, if I may.
Yeah.
Normally in circumstances when a unit is rented without the proper license, it's a $250 per day fine until the proper license is obtained. This unit was rented without the proper license for quite some time. There is a ton of work that needs to be done, and I have already expressed my commitment to help to make sure that compliance is achieved the best as possible. A lot of work was put into this unit without contacting the code officer to assist throughout the process. For example, the kitchen was completely remodeled, which that is running into some issues within itself. There are ways that this case can be complied to save on time. For example, writing or signing an affidavit stating that the property would not be rented could comply to rental license and could comply to inspection itself of the code officer needing to come in to complete the inspection. But the other permits that are required, for example, the remodeling of the kitchen, that's going to need a permit. The window, the AC unit that was replaced, that's going to need a permit as well. So in normal circumstances, the ask would be, in general, $250 per day. But if we're going to double the 8 months, which I totally understand the time, then it's, the city ask is $200 per day is reasonable just to make sure that the work is being completed. Thank you.
Nope. Thank you for that. Any final comments?
Yes, I got all the paperwork showing that I did try to comply. It's a process to kick your tenants out. It took us 3 months. It's not like we wasn't trying. I even went down to the city, applied for a rental license, which I got here, and you know, did everything in my power to come to men's. I tiled the place, I painted the place, the holes that was in the wall that was left by the tenant, we fixed the hole that was in the wall, we changed the stove as Mr. Lattimore requested. We even got a stainless steel refrigerator, changed all the ACs. So by me asking for 8 months, I think that's kind of fair, but it's just, we are complying. I done met with Mr. Lattimore a couple of times to show him that I'm complying. So by me doing all that the city actions, I don't feel like it's fair for them to say, after a month, I'm gonna be taxed $200. $200 in 30 days, that's $6 grand. How about something happened? From the city itself, it was told to be they could take 180 days just to get a permit. How about something go wrong? I don't feel like I should agree with that. If something happened, then I'm screwed.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Well, the good news is you don't have to agree with it. You can disagree, but the final decision is mine, whether anyone agrees with me or not.
Right.
I have no problem with the July 7th, 2025 compliance date, and I will order that. But, you know, I will tell you, I've been sitting up here for many years, and, you know, Mr. Lattimore is correct. Quite frankly,
Oh, he's fair. He's a fair guy.
Sir, I gave you every opportunity.
Right.
It's now my turn.
Go ahead.
All right. I mean, you can go back and look at records going back years. Typically, if there's a case where it's just a rental license and a certificate of use and without the catalog of other structural and physical violations, the city consistently asks for $200 a day if compliance is not achieved by the deadline, and I consistently grant that. So quite frankly, I thought the $100 a day ask was light, regardless of the compliance date.
Okay.
Nothing, in my mind, one has nothing to do with the other. You know, this is a rental property, this is a commercial endeavor that you're undertaking. There are requirements, and so, you know, in my view, I'm giving you the July 7th, but the $200 a day is completely consistent with a rental property operating without the appropriate licenses and out of compliance with city codes. And there are years of code enforcement violations that I have presided over that support that statement. I do find proper notice in this case. Respondent is present. City has proper notice documents in the file. Based on the testimony and the evidence, I'm going to find the property remains in violation of the following city code sections: 18103B, 22441, 18103G, 2232A, 18106K, 18103E, 18103C, 34102A, and 18106A. I will find the property has complied with the other code sections that were originally cited in the notice of violation. I'm going to allow until July 7th of 2025 to cure the outstanding violations. Some of those do require permits, so you need to make sure that the permitting process is handled correctly and you don't create more problems by doing work without a permit that requires a permit. But I am going to assess the daily fines of $200 per day if compliance is not achieved by July 7th. And I want to be very clear, that is not because I pushed the compliance date out to July. That is because, in my view, that is completely consistent. And quite frankly, it may even be, given all the other violations, that may be lenient. But it is at least consistent with many other cases where I have properties that are rental properties that don't have the proper licensing. So I want the record to be very clear about that, and I will sign that order. Good luck, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Case number 21, CE 24092622. Case address is 5410 Parker Avenue.
Good morning. Richard Pesmino, City of West Palm Beach Code Enforcement. This property was inspected and cited in response to a complaint. The property was cited on September 5th, 2024. The hearing was rescheduled for this hearing. So certified mail was sent out October 16th, 2024. It was received October 18th, 2024. And in addition, City Hall and the property were posted on October 17th, 2024. The affidavit of posting is attached in the case. This property was cited for Florida Building Code 110.1, inspections required, and 105.1, failure to secure building permit. This is specifically for a new shed that was built and installed on the property at the rear, visible from the alleyway, and the location of it is right on the property line. I've had contact with the owner who's here today, and since our contact, she has applied for the required permit for the shed on October 24th. But planning has required resubmittal because of the location of the shed. It violates the setback requirements. The owner has expressed she's going to apply for a variance to try to allow it to be in the location in order to pass the zoning review to get the permit. All the photos that you see today were taken by me. The photos represent the violations on the notice, and the city's recommending 120 additional days to obtain permit and pass inspections, or we're asking for a fine of $100 a day.
Officer Pazmino, do you believe 120 days is a reasonable amount of time for the property owner to come into compliance with these violations?
If she's proactive in taking the right steps, I believe so.
Thank you. The city would like to enter the case file, including the photos and the testimony, into evidence, barring any objection.
The city's case file is part of the record in this case. Good morning. Please go ahead and put your name and address on the record, ma'am, and then you can,
Good
floor will be
morning.
yours to proceed.
Name is Iboya Mesh, reside at 5410 Parker Avenue, West Palm Beach, Florida 33405.
Yes, ma'am. You can proceed.
First of all, it's probably not going to make a difference, but I'm not the type of person to be out of compliance or breaking rules, and ignorance is also not an excuse for certain things, but I do feel there's special circumstances in my coming about of violating a code that on July 23rd, my husband committed suicide and left us with a storage unit that, and without a will. So I had to move everything out of the storage unit, which mostly contained my son's scouting, camping equipment, bicycles, things like that. And some of his family members, there was a shed there originally in place of that. It was like a rink-a-dink aluminum shed that was in bad repair, and it had holes in it and just housed a lot of bugs and stuff. And it was full of lawn equipment. So at the time, immediately after, like I said, it was July 23rd, and at the end of the month, the storage rental was up for payment, and I had no access to any of my husband's accounts or anything like that. So the family was kind enough to offer to build me a shed in place of that old one, which they did, and they did a beautiful job with a metal roof. It's well constructed. It's strapped down for hurricane purposes, so it should be in compliance with code minus the permit. And unfortunately, my neighbor residing south of me complained about the metal roof dripping water on his property. So we actually cut the metal roof back. It's not visible, it's on the other side. But we had to cut the roof as far back as possible. But my shed is still only 34.5 inches from the lot line. So when I spoke to a very nice lady in zoning, she, right there, that's where we cut back the roof. She suggested that I could apply for a variance in lieu of not having the 5 feet from the lot line. And I've been trying to do that. It's not an easy process on the computer, but I have most of everything, except I'm stuck on a few steps like obtaining the mailers and things like that. But as far as drawings and photos, I think I pretty much have everything together. I'm just not aware of what this process may involve with planning. on the planning side.
Actually,
And I'm keeping in touch with Mr. Pasbino.
let me ask Mr. Pasmino, so once a variance application is complete, is submitted and complete, does that go to the city commission? Does that go to a planning and zoning board? Where
Yeah,
does
it goes to the planning and zoning board.
Do you have
either-
any sense for what kind of, where they are in terms of, like if an application was submitted and it was determined to be complete this week, when would that get on an agenda?
I've only had one case previous that ended up having to get a variance. It was pretty lengthy. It's drawn out, and with the permit process, that's already drawn out.
Right, so once the so then, I mean, the way that, generally, ma'am, the way this would go, once you apply for the variance, it will go on the planning and zoning board's agenda, you'll have that hearing. If the planning and zoning board grants the variance, then you're back to the
permit process.
Then you're back to permitting, and then you have to finish dealing with the permitting process, so that, there's definitely, you have some steps ahead of you, and I wanna, make sure that, we build enough time into this to get through that process. So 120 days is November, December, January, February, that's like beginning of March, is that?
I believe
Are we
so.
comfortable that's enough time to get through the
Would-
planning and zoning variance process and then back through permitting?
With the holidays coming up as well, I don't have no problem if she needs more time.
Are you thinking
Asking for
like 6 months, 5 months?
Yeah, I have no objection to that.
I'd be inclined to put this on a 6-month track, just because you got at least one public hearing on the variance and then back through permitting. I don't want to set this up for failure. I want from a timing standpoint, I want to make sure there's enough time. So if we did 180 days, that's June. That's what, November, December, January, February, March, April. That's May. That would be like. I would call that May 7th, which is a Wednesday. So that's kind of where my head is on this. Is there anything you'd like to tell me based on what I just explained?
It's fine. Like I said, I'm not aware of, it's the first I'm doing, so I will comply as quickly as I can. I was just wondering if you would be able to tell me if my variance is not going to be approved, what would the consequences be for
So
it?
if variance is denied, then the shed has to come into compliance with the setback code, and probably means.
Yeah, it would have to be moved.
How far into the setback, do you know?
It's 5 feet opposed to 34 and a half, which I am at now.
5-foot setback?
I believe
it's
so.
like I have to move it 2 feet.
And you said you're like 30, you're like 3 feet, so you're
Almost.
you're a couple feet off. Yeah, so I mean,
Would have
that,
to be
a couple
moved.
feet, but moving the whole shed, based on the way you described it being built, that could be.
Right.
So what I'm inclined to do here is set this at the 180-day compliance date. Now, depending on how this unfolds, if you get through the planning and zoning, the variance process, and then if that board denies the variance, depending on when that happens, you may be in a time crunch to come into compliance. So again, I will tell you the same thing I've told a bunch of folks this morning. If you find yourself in that circumstance, please stay in touch with Mr. Pasmino. Ask for an opportunity to come back and ask for more time.
Okay.
And I would be happy to consider that, because again, I don't want, my intent here is not to set this up for failure. My intent
Okay,
is to
thank you.
give you enough time to get through the process. All right, anything else before I enter my order?
No, thank you.
Anything else from the
No.
city? Okay, respondent is present at this morning's hearing. The city has proper notice documents in the file. Based on the testimony and the evidence, I find property remains in violation as cited. We're gonna put the compliance date at May 7th, 2025. If compliance is not achieved by May 7th, 2025, I will accept the city's recommendation at daily fines of $100 per day until compliance is achieved. get a copy of that order. Good luck with the process, and hopefully we won't have to see each other again under these circumstances.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Case number 22, CE 24092772, case address 201 Nottingham Boulevard.
Richard Pesmino, City of West Palm Beach Code Enforcement Officer. This case was brought forward by a complaint from a tenant living at this property at 201 Nottingham Boulevard. This property was cited on September 27th, 2024. Certified mail was sent out September 30th, 2024. It was signed received October 2nd, 2024. In addition to that, regular mail was also sent to a known mailing address we have on file for the owner of the property. That's all in the case. In addition to that, the property and City Hall were both posted on September 30th, 2024. Affidavit of posting is notarized and attached to this case file. The violations at this property are 94-6, unpermitted use. This is specifically for unpermitted dwellings on the property.
Unpermitted what?
Dwellings, like
Oh.
living spaces.
Okay.
There is a tent in the yard that is being occupied by the owner of the property, and he's living in it.
You say a tent?
A tent, yeah, like an outdoor tent. And the garage, it's set up for someone to live inside of it. The photos,
Converted to
it's not even really converted. There's just a setup with the AC unit, the bed, and whatever's needed to live and sleep in there. 2232A and 82144B, that's the certificate of use required and business tax receipt. So what he's operating as a rooming house, in order to get that, they would have to have a special use permit that they do not have, never applied for, never tried to obtain. Code 1895A for electrical. There are electrical problems at the property where power and lights are not working in certain sections of the house. When I first went out, my initial inspection, the breaker appeared to be tampered with, the exterior breaker, and there was a cover missing for the breaker box. You'll see it in the photos. Code 9471C for outdoor storage, including the tent and all the items stored on the side yard, as you can see a bit right here. 18106A, clean and sanitary. There was trash and debris on the property, including the side yard behind the fence. 94462, landscape maintenance. There was overgrown, unmaintained landscaping at the property. And 1895D, lighting in the bathrooms. The bathrooms at the property did not have functioning lights. I re-inspected the property this past Monday, November 4th. There have been no changes to any of these violations. I've had no contact with the owner. I have had constant contact with the tenant who's here today. I've had additional complaints from the neighbors about every time I stop by to check the property, complaining about the conditions at the property, the type of characters that are hanging out at the property, causing issues. As I'm being told, there's been multiple police complaints. Police have been called out multiple times. The owner has been cited before for a rental license violation with a code case that was running fines for a while. So he is aware that a rental license is required before housing anyone. And in April 2024, I opened a case based off a complaint for the rooming house, but I didn't have proof. I was never allowed inside until just now. And back in April 2024, the owner stated that, he wasn't renting the property, wasn't running a rooming house. And since then, the county records show that he evicted a tenant from the property on April 2024. With all that being said, with the issues at the property, with no type of compliance being done, and no contact, the city's recommending 30 additional days to comply all of these violations, or we're asking for a fine of $300 a day, if not achieved. 300, yeah.
Sure.
The previous rental case that I mentioned was running at $200 a day.
Okay.
Officer Pazmina, did you take the photos that we've seen here today yourself?
All the dated photos were taken myself. These photos were emailed from the tenant who's here today. The photos that have a date were all taken by myself.
Do you believe all of the photos truthfully and accurately depict the code violations that you cited here today?
Yes, they do.
And do you believe 30 days is a reasonable amount of time for the property owner to come into compliance for these violations?
I believe so. He's renting month to month, so to remove the people in the garage should, I believe so. Yes.
The city would like to enter the case file, including the photos and the officer's testimony, into evidence barring any objection.
City's case file is part of the record. Did you want to take testimony from your witness?
Yes.
By all means.
I'd let that tenant. Yes.
Good morning. Elizabeth Sendell, tenant at 201 Nottingham Boulevard.
Yes, ma'am.
I contacted code enforcement when the owner cut power to a couple of the rooms in an attempt to evict people and circumvent the legal process of eviction. He finally turned the power back on after a couple of weeks so he could rent additional rooms. It was difficult to rent a room that had no air conditioning and no power. Sadly, those pictures are accurate. The owner has absolutely no intention of remedying any of this. The home is in foreclosure. It's in the short sale, and I believe the next step is for auction the beginning of January. My belief is that he is just gonna let you fine it and let the time run out. It's listed as the owner of an LLC, so the fines won't fall upon him. So frankly, he doesn't care.
Understood. Well, thank you for being here, ma'am.
Right. Questions?
Mr. Pazmino, what's the maximum daily fine I can impose in this case?
I would believe it's $500 a day, since it's not a repeat.
All right, is there anything else the city would like to put on the record?
Do you want to, the neighbor's here as well. He would like to just add his account.
Good morning, sir. I'm
Yes,
Gary
sir.
York. I live at 212 Nottingham Boulevard.
Yes, sir.
Which is directly across the street from the property, which this has a history going back of 4 years, of which only now the city has been able to address it. I also own 4111 Washington Road, which is a property that abuts this one to the north. And so I have a ringside seat for all of these violations. And many times the police have been called 3 or 4 times in a week, sometimes several times a day. With the owner living outside of the house in a tent, and I'm afraid to tell you other things because I might in some way find myself liable for making statements that I can't specifically prove.
I understand.
But I'm begging the city of West Palm Beach to please give us relief from this situation. The man doesn't deserve any type of hardship consideration. He has the funds. You were asking about the man living outside in a tent. You'd think you'd feel sorry for him. You would up until the point where you see him driving a $100,000 jacked up pickup truck. And I asked him about it. I said, sir, if you're living outside yet you drive this truck. He goes, well, I got to get around somehow. which falls just in the face of reason. It's just, it's a completely unreasonable situation. I only wish there were criminal things that could be prosecuted against him to somehow give us immediate relief, not make us wait 30 more days or, God forbid, 6 more months with this.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Yeah, sometimes I always have to tell people code enforcement can't solve every problem in the world, but we can do certain things.
I just want to correct, $1,000 a day is the max.
Okay. You indicated that there was a prior case.
I had opened a case, scheduled it for hearing back in April, based off the complaint, same complaint, different neighbor on the other side of the street, about the house being advertised and being rented for rooms. I witnessed one of the postings he had at the closest Publix. I took a picture of it. We went forward with the case with that. But once he made contact with me, he said the property is not rented.
So you didn't get an order in the previous?
I didn't get an order. That case was closed because
Okay.
there wasn't enough.
So this is not a repeat violation?
No, not for these violations.
Okay. Is there anybody here on behalf of the respondent for this case? Okay. Is there anything else the city wants to put on the record before I enter my order? Okay.
Your mic.
Sorry, he's gonna kill me back there. This property was noticed for a foreclosure sale on January 6th of 2025, just for the special magistrate's edification.
Okay. Thank you for that. All right, respondent is not present, but I will find proper notice based on the notice documents contained in the file, most notably the signed certified mail. Based on the testimony and the evidence, I will find the property remains in violation as cited. I will allow 30 days for compliance. After that, based on the testimony that I've received in this case, both from Mr. Pasmino, the tenant, and the neighbor, I'm going to assess the maximum daily fine of $1,000 per day until compliance is achieved. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, that concludes the contested cases. Case number 2, CE 24092636. Case address is 901 North Point Parkway, 301, has complied. Case number 3, CE 24062184. Case address 106 North Olive Avenue.
Good morning. Jay Francis, City of West Palm Beach Code Compliance. Presenting for Code Officer Alex Oliver. The property was cited by Mr. Oliver on 6/24/24. Certified mail and regular mail was sent on 6/25/24. Hand delivery was completed on 6/28/24. I personally have not been in contact with the property owner or the business owner. The business was cited for sidewalk cafe permit and failure to comply. As of this morning, the violation is still pending. There's been no update in our system from my side of any permits being applied for or being completed. Therefore, the city is requesting an additional 60 days to get into compliance. If they do not come into compliance within this 60-day time frame, then the city is asking for $150 a day until compliance is achieved.
And have you been in contact with the
No,
owner?
no,
Okay.
not the business owner or property owner at this
Okay.
point.
And you believe 60 days is a reasonable time?
Yes.
To get the COU and the business tax receipt?
It's for sidewalk cafe permit, so yeah.
The citation I have on the agenda, is it case number 2 that we're on?
Number 3, 106 North Olive.
Oh, number 3. Oh, I was told number too,
All right.
sorry. Okay. Okay. Nothing further at this time. Special Magistrate, we're asking for the testimony to be accepted as evidence into the record, as well as the case file, barring any objections.
City's case file is part of the record in this case. Respondent is not present, but I will find proper notice with hand delivery, and find property remains in violation as cited and grant the relief requested by the city.
Case number 4, CE 24102820, case address 212 Rutland Boulevard.
Good morning, Sonia Bin, City of West Palm Beach, Code Enforcement. This property was cited on October 15, 2024, due to a complaint. The notice of violation was posted at the property and at City Hall on October 17, 2024. Certified mail was sent on October 16, 2024. During my initial inspection, I observed the property had excessive landscape overgrowth and appeared to be vacant. Due to the condition of the property, makes it a potential haven for snakes, rodents, and other vermin, which could negatively impact the neighborhood. The property was cited for codes 18-215B, failure to comply, 18-106B, excessive landscape overgrowth. Photos shown today truthfully and accurately reflects my testimony. I have not made contact with the property owner. As of November 4th, 2024, the property is still out of compliance for all codes cited. The city is requesting a split order, 15 days to gain compliance with $100 daily fine if the property is not vacant, or abate if the property is vacant.
Okay, thank you. And could you repeat for the record the amount of time you're requesting for compliance?
Sure. The city is requesting a split order, 15 days to gain compliance with a $100 daily fine if the property is not vacant, or abate if the property is vacant.
Okay, and we don't know if the property is vacant or not?
Based on my observation, it seems vacant, and that is the reason why I'm requesting the split order.
Okay. Nothing further, Special Magistrate. We're asking for the testimony of the code enforcement officer as well as the case file to be admitted into evidence, barring any objections, please.
City's case file is part of the record in this case. Respondent is not present, but I will find proper notice with the notice documents contained in the file. Based on the testimony and the evidence, I will find the property remains in violation as cited. I find that violation constitutes threat to public health, safety, and welfare. I will grant the relief requested by the city.
Thank you.
Case number 9, CE 24082507, case address 914 45th Street.
Good morning again, Code Officer Katie Weaver with the City of West Palm Beach. While checking a complaint in the area, I observed several violations at 914 45th Street. I took photos of the property which accurately and truthfully depict the violations observed. I initiated my investigation on August the 13th of 2024, citing the following violations: 78-94-C, which has been complied, 94-482A, which has been complied, 18-106-B, which has been complied, 94-446-2-B-1, which has been complied, 18103B, 9471-C, 18-106A, 18-106G. The notice of violation was posted at the property and City Hall on September 19th of 2024. The affidavit of posting was completed on October the 21st of 2024, and a copy was placed in the case file. Certified and regular mail was sent to the mailing address listed on PAPA on August the 17th of 2024. Certified mail was signed for. I revisited the property on November the 5th of 2024 and observed the property still in violation of 18-103B, 19-71-C, 18-106-A, and 18-106-G. Reinspection photos were taken on November the 5th, showing the remaining violations. They were uploaded to the case. I have spoken with the property owner's daughter, Ms. Sandra Fugate, who requested an additional 60 days to gain compliance. The city is also requesting the additional 60 days or $100 a day until compliance is achieved.
Great, thank you. Nothing further, Special Magistrate. We're asking for the testimony as well as a case file to be admitted into evidence barring any objection.
All right. Case file is part of the record in this case. Respondent is not present. City has proper notice with the signed certified mail. Based on the testimony and the evidence, I will find property, let's see, remains in violation of, make sure I got, pretty sure I followed along, but let's make sure I got it right. 18106A, 18103B, 18106G, and 9471C. All
Yes.
other sections that were cited in the notice originally have complied.
Yes.
I will grant the relief requested by the city.
Thank you.
Case number 11, CE 24082575, case address 944 39th Street.
Code Officer KT Weaver again. While riding through my zone, I observed several violations at 944 39th Street. I took photos of the property which accurately and truthfully depict the violations observed. I initiated my investigation on August the 22nd of 2024, citing the following violations. The property was cited for 74-34-A-1-H, the trash can in public view, which has been complied. 94-442-C-1, the landscape area must be grass, which has been complied. 78-94-C, swells and parkways, which has been complied. 18-106K, landscape maintenance. 94-71-C, outdoor storage. 94-446-2-B, tree trimming. And 18-106A, clean and sanitary. 18-106G, paint or pressure wash. The notice of violation was posted at the property and City Hall on October the 21st of 2024. The affidavit of posting was completed on October the 21st of 2024, and a copy was placed in the case file. Certified and regular mail was sent to the mailing address listed on PAPA on August the 28th of 2024, and it was returned. I revisited the property on November the 5th of 2024 and observed the property still in violation of the following violations: 18-106-K, 94-71-C, 94-446-2-B, 18-106-A, and 18-106-G. Reinspection photos were taken on November the 5th showing the remaining violations. They were uploaded to the case. I haven't had any contact with the property owner. The city is requesting an additional 30 days to gain compliance, or $100 a day until compliance is achieved.
Great, and you believe 30 days is a reasonable amount of time?
Yes, ma'am. The property owner has done a lot of things since being cited. He has been working on the property, but he just hasn't contacted me, and he hasn't completed what's remaining.
Okay, so you haven't had no contact with the property owner?
No, not in reference to his case. I have seen him before, met him before in the neighborhood, but since his property has been cited, I have had no contact with him.
But on his own, he's been complying with some of the violations?
After being cited, he started,
Oh,
yes,
okay.
because I have cited property, multiple on the street next door and some other properties, so I guess he got the violation and he just started working on the property.
Okay, great, thank you so much. This time, Special Magistrate, we're asking for the Code Enforcement Officer's testimony as well as the case file and photographs be admitted into evidence, barring any objections.
Okay, the city's file is part of the record. Two questions. Is the paint, was that the red sidewalk where it was peeled up, or is there something else?
No, if we get on the structure, it's more on the structure and the fascia. I don't know where you are. It's gonna be, keep going. Right, it's still gonna be in there, but it's gonna be on the other side of the house.
And then
I don't know where you are, just keep going and then I'll see.
then the tree trimming, is that big old palm tree with all the?
Yeah,
dead-
and then in that, and then there's some in the back touching the back side of the carport, touching back there. Keep going, we're getting right in this area, you'll start seeing facial and soffit, those areas there. Keep going, Monique. Keep going, it was one that was really up close, I may have passed it. No, go back down, but in that area, it's just
Okay.
a matter if he make it even pressure wash it, and that's why I said pressure washing and or paint. Touch
Okay.
up, it just depends on, what he deems is necessary.
Okay. Respondent is not present, but the city has proper notice documents in the file based on the testimony and the evidence. I will find that the property has, let's see. We'll do it this way. Remains in violation of City Code 94-446-2B, 18106G, 18106K, 9471C, and 18106A. I'm pretty sure I got that right, but has complied with the other code sections that were originally cited in the notice. I will grant the request, the relief requested by the city.
Thank you.
Case number 12, CE 24082562, case address 922 33rd Street.
All right, good morning. Donald Lattimore, City of West Palm Beach Code Enforcement Officer. While on routine patrol, I noticed unpaved parking at property 922 33rd Street. This property is occupied. I initiated my investigation on August 14th, 2024. During the initial inspection, I observed the following violations: 34102A, inoperable vehicle; 94-442-C-1, the landscape needing some side of grass; 94-34-A-1-H, trash container in public view; and 94-482-A, unpaved parking. The city issued a notice of violation with the property to the property owner, which identified the violations, my contact information, and notice of this hearing date. The notice of violation was noticed by certified and regular mail on August 22nd, 2024 by the city's clerk. I posted a notice of violation on the property and at City Hall on October 2nd of 2024. I completed an affidavit of posting as well on October 2nd, 2024, and it is in the case file. I revisit the property on November 1st, 2024, and observed the property not to be in compliance with the following code sections: 34-102-A, which is the inoperable vehicle that doesn't have the license plate. I took the photographs at the initial investigation, and when I revisited the property, the photographs accurately and truthfully depict the violations I observed during my investigations and show that the violations still exist on property. The property owner is not present, and I was not made aware of a representative attending this hearing. I did make contact with a relative of the property owner on October 2nd while posting the notice of violation, and I explained all the violations, how to comply them, as well as this hearing date. The city is asking for 130 days to comply. If no compliance, a daily fine of $100 per day. Nothing further.
Thank you. Nothing further from the city, other than asking for the code enforcement officer's testimony and the case file to be admitted into record as evidence. Special magistrate.
The city's case file is part of the record. I was not clear on your testimony. Is everything still in violation?
Just have one thing that is not in violation. It's 34-102-A.
That complied.
That is not in compliance.
That's still in violation.
Yes, it's the green car without the license plate tag on it.
Everything else complied?
Everything else is in good shape. Yep.
Got it. Okay. Respondent is not present. City has proper notice with the certified mail and the posting. I will find, based on the evidence, property remains in violation of City Code 34102A, but has complied with the other code sections, and I'll grant the relief requested by the city.
Case number 14, CE 24082574, case address 906 33rd Street.
All right. Donald Lattimore, City of West Palm Beach Code Enforcement Officer. While on routine patrol, I observed a trash container in public view and a landscaping needing some sod throughout it. At property 906 33rd Street, this property is occupied. I initiated my investigation on August 14th of 2024. During the initial inspection, I observed the following violations: 74-34-A-1-H, that's the trash container in public view; 94-442-C-1, landscape needing some sod; 74-4-C-4, there's a tree that's obstructing the right-of-way, the sidewalk; 94-482-A, the driveway has big deep holes in it that needs to be repaired. The city issued a notice of violation to the property owner, which identified the violations, my contact information, and notice of this hearing date. The notice of violation was noticed by certified and regular mail on August 23rd of 2024 by the city's clerk. I posted the notice of violation on the property and City Hall October 2nd, 2024, and I completed the affidavit of posting on October 2nd, 2024 as well. I revisited the property on November 1st, 2024, and observed the property not to be in compliance with the following code section: 94-482-A, the driveway needs to be repaired. I took the photos at the initial investigation, and when I revisited the property, the photographs accurately and truthfully depict the violations I observed during my investigation and show the violation still exists on the property, which is the repairing the driveway. The property owner is not present, but I made contact with Rebecca, who's listed on the LLC. She is also the wife of the property owner under that LLC, over the phone and via email. Rebecca wanted me to express today why she's not able to attend. Her home outside of the Alachua County area was affected by the storms. She has been very transparent throughout the process and worked with me to get the violations complied, but she is having some issue with repairing the driveway, finding someone to repair the driveway. She wants to just completely get it redone versus a patchwork of the holes. So with that being said, the city is asking for 45 days to comply. However, Rebecca is asking for 60 days to comply. If no compliance, a daily fine of $100.
Do you have an objection to the 60 days?
I do not. I believe that she's going to get it done sooner, but with the holiday time frame, she brought that to my attention as well, so not a problem at all.
Okay, great, thank you.
Yep.
A special magistrate, we're asking for the code enforcement officer's testimony as well as the case file to be admitted as evidence into the record, please.
Okay, the city's file is part of the record in this case. Respondent is not present. City has proper notice with certified mail and the posting. I will find the property remains in violation of City Code 94-482A, but has complied with all other code sections. We'll set, we'll do 60 days, which we're going to call January 6th of 2025 as the compliance date, and then daily fines of $100 per day after that until compliance is achieved.
Case number 15, CE 24082571, case address 904 34th Street.
All right, Donald Lattimore, City of West Palm Beach Code Enforcement Officer. While on patrol, I noticed a prohibited trailer parked at property 904 34th Street. This property is occupied. I initiated my investigation on August 14th of 2024. During the initial inspection, I observed the following violations: 94-487-B as in Bravo-1, that's the prohibited vehicle; 18-106-B, excessive growth; 34-102-A, inoperable vehicle; 74-34-A-1-H, trash can in public view; 74-4-C-4, trees and hedges obstructing the right-of-way, the sidewalk right-of-way; 78-94-C, cutting the grass that's in the parkway area; 94-302-A-4, fence needing severe repair; 94-71-C, outdoor storage. The city issued a notice of violation to the property owner, which identified the violations, my contact information, and notice of this hearing date. The notice of violation was noticed by certified and regular mail on August 22nd, 2024 by the city's clerk. I posted a notice of violation on the property and at City Hall on October 2nd of 2024. I also completed an affidavit of posting on October 2nd of 2024. I revisited the property multiple times. My final visit was on October 30th of 2024, and I observed the property not to be in compliance with the following code sections: 18-106-B, 34-102-A, 94-302-A-4, 94-71-C. I took the photos at the initial investigation and when I revisited the property. The photographs accurately and truthfully depict the violations I observed during my investigation and show that the violations still exist on the property. The property owner is not present and I have not made contact with the owner or a property representative. This has been a problematic property for quite some time now, with multiple neighbors and individuals throughout the neighborhood complaining about the property. With that being said, the city is asking for 45 days to comply, 60 days to comply. If no compliance, a daily fine of $150 per day. The 60-day ask is because the fence is going to need a permit in the holiday time frame.
Thank you. Nothing further, Special Magistrate. We're asking for the case file as well as the code enforcement officer's testimony to be accepted into the record as evidence, please.
The city's case file is part of the record. Respondent is not present, but I will find proper notice. Based on the testimony and the evidence, I will find property remains in violation with 34102A, 18106B, 9471C, and 94302A4. I'll find compliance with the remaining code sections that were originally cited and grant the relief requested by the city. Thank you.
Case number 16, CE 24092704, case address 645 35th Street.
Good morning, Jesus Mendiola, City of West Palm Beach Code Enforcement. I received a complaint about the property 645 35th Street on September 10th, 2024. The property is occupied. The violations I discovered on that day were 94-71-C, outdoor storage, 18-106-B, excessive growth, 18-106-A, clean and sanitary, 74-4-C-5, alleyway maintenance. Basically, there were car bumpers in the alleyway and other various debris. They had excessive growth in the front and in the rear, and had the clean sanitary with the trash and debris and pressure wash the sidewalks, and 74-4-C-5 for the alleyway maintenance. He was also cited for rear address characters, but that was complied. The property was cited on September 11th, 2024. Certified and regular mail were sent on September 12th, 2024. It was delivered but not signed. The notice of violation was posted at the property and City Hall on October 28, 2024. I completed the affidavit of posting. The photographs taken accurately and truthfully depict the violations I observed. I have had no contact with the property. As of yesterday, all violations are still current, and the city is asking for 60 days to gain compliance or $100 a day until compliance is achieved.
Great, thank you. We're requesting that the code enforcement officer's testimony and the case file be admitted into the record as evidence. Special Magistrate.
City's case file is part of the record in this case. I find proper notice even though the respondent is not present. I find property remains in violation as cited and grant the relief requested by the city.
Case number 17, CE 24092618, case address 419 30th Street.
Whenever you're ready.
Good morning, Jesus Mendiola, City of West Palm Beach Code Enforcement. I received a complaint about 419 30th Street on September 3rd, 2024. The property is occupied. The violations I discovered were 18-106A, clean and sanitary, 18-106G, needed to paint the exterior. There's mildew on the exterior of the structure. 74-4-C, that's 5, alleyway maintenance. 18-106-K, landscape maintenance. 18-103-B, condition of structure. 18-106-B, excessive growth. For the 18-103B, there's some rotten fascia in the rear, in the alleyway. I believe it's the garage. The property was cited on September 5th, 2024. Certified regular mail was sent on September 10th, 2024. It was signed. Notice of violation was posted at the property and City Hall October 28, 2024. I completed affidavit of posting. The photographs taken accurately and truthfully depict the violations I observed. I've had no contact with the property. As of yesterday, the property is still in violation of all violations. The city is asking for 60 days to in compliance or $100 a day until compliance is achieved.
Thank you. Nothing further, Special Magistrate. We're asking for the code enforcement officer's testimony as well as the case file to be accepted into evidence as the record. Thanks.
Okay, I will find proper notice. Based on the testimony and evidence, I will find property remains in violation as cited and grant the relief requested by the city.
Case number 18, CE 24082589, case address 418 36th Street.
Good morning, Jesus Mendiola, City of West Palm Beach Code Enforcement. I discovered the violations on the property 418 36th Street on August 20, 2024. The property is vacant. The violations I discovered were 18-106A, trash and debris, 18-103-B, repair rotten wood, 18-106G, paint the exterior of the structure, 18-106, keep pool clean. There were other various violations that were cited, but they have been resolved. The property was cited on August 27, 2024. Certified regular mail was sent on August 27, 2024. To the address on Papa, it was returned, and to a Sunbiz address, it was signed on September 3rd. The notice of violation was posted at the property in City Hall on October 28, 2024. I completed the affidavit of posting. The photographs taken accurately and truthfully depict the violation I observed. Contact with the property. I've been contacting through email with the contractors. As of yesterday, property is still in violation of all the violations noted. The city is asking for 180 days to gain compliance or $150 a day until compliance is achieved. I have originally spoke with the contractors and let them know 120, but as of yesterday, I was told that one of the historic board members that was in charge of the property since they're trying to demo the accessory building and the pool and move the main building. He is no longer with the city, so I extended the time to 180 days instead of 120. And also, there have been new addresses issued to all three parcels. Is no longer 418, it's 426 36th Street. And they have applied for the demo for the pool, but does require to be resubmitted, and as well as for the demo for the rear structure, that needs to be resubmitted.
So you haven't been in contact with the owner, but you've been in contact with the contractor?
With the contractor and the property manager into a group email.
And they're in agreement with the 180 days, given all the work that needs to be done?
They were in agreement with the 120 days, but I extended after finding out one of the historic board members that was in charge of approving the renovations and the demo had resigned, And since the work has fallen back onto other members of the city, so I extended the time to 180.
Okay. And you said the historic board member has resigned, and that has, I didn't catch what's the effect of that.
It got pushed back into two other members of the, I'm guessing, the planning committee.
Okay.
The planning board, so that's why I extended time, just in case if that would cause any issues and delay in getting approved for the
Okay.
demo.
Thank you. Nothing further, Special Magistrate. We're asking for the testimony of the code enforcement officer as well as the case file be admitted into evidence as the record.
City's file is part of the record, and based on the testimony and the notice documents in the file, I find proper notice, find the property remains in violation as cited, and grant the relief requested by the city.
Case number 19, CE 24082600, case address 501 35th Street.
Good morning, Jesus Mandela, City of West Palm Beach Code Enforcement. About the property on 501 35th Street, I discovered violations on August 12, 2024. The property is vacant. The violations I discovered were 94-302-A-4, fence repair, the fence was leaning, 74-4-C-5, alleyway maintenance and dead vegetation all around the property, 18-106-B, excessive growth on the swell and in front of the property, 18-106-K, landscape maintenance, 74-4-C-4, trim hedges and trees that are blocking onto the right-of-way, 18-106-A, clean sanitary. The property was cited on August 28, 2024. Certified regular mail were sent on August 28, 2024. It was signed. The notice of violation was posted at the property in City Hall on October 28, 2024. I completed the affidavit of posting. The photographs taken accurately and truthfully depict the violations I observed. I have been in contact with the property contractor and property manager. As of yesterday, the violations are still active. The city is asking for 180 days to gain compliance or $200 a day until compliance is achieved. This is another property, same thing. They're trying to demo the whole property. Had originally spoken with we email with the contractor and property manager asking for 120 days. The same historic board member was on this case, was the last one who approved, was the last one to do anything for the approval to demo it, so that's why I'm asking for 180 days instead of 120.
Okay, thank you. Nothing further, Special Magistrate. We're asking for the code enforcement officer's testimony and the case file to be admitted into the record as evidence.
City's case file is part of the record in this case. I find proper notice with certified mail and the posting. Based on the testimony and the evidence, find the property remains in violation as cited and grant the relief requested by the city at 180 days.
Case number 20, CE 24102786, case address 4717 Garden Avenue.
Richard Pesmino, City of West Palm Beach Code Enforcement. This property was a result of a complaint from the neighbor. The property was inspected on September 30th, and was cited on October 2nd, 2024. Certified mail was sent out October 2nd. It was signed and received October 10th, 2024. In addition, the property and City Hall were both posted on October 3rd. The affidavit of posting was signed and notarized and is attached to the case file. The violations found at the property were exterior paint. There was mold, mildew on the siding of the structures. 2232A, certificate of use required. Upon investigation, I found advertisements online for renting of the property. 18106A, clean and sanitary. There is an unsanitary area of the property where a vent drain pipe right there was leaking, causing an odor. That was the complaint from the neighbor that I investigated. 18105G, plumbing fixtures. That is for that, which ended up being a vent pipe on the side of the structure. 22441 for the rental license required. And 94302A4, fence wall maintenance. There's a wooden retention wall at the front of the property that was in disrepair. Since citing the property, the only violation that has completely complied is 94302A4 for that retention wall. The other violations, there has been some progress, like they power washed the sidewalk. They have made repairs to fix that drain pipe. But as of yesterday, when I re-inspected the property, the vent pipe was detached again. The owner lives out of state. I have had contact with him and emails back and forth. I let the owner know that I will be asking for additional time regarding the rental license certificate of use. He has copied me in the email where he sent it to the license department. It has not been processed yet. With all of that being said, the city's recommending 30 additional days to comply all of the remaining violations, or we're asking for a fine of $100 a day until compliance is achieved.
Okay, thank you so much. We're requesting the code enforcement officer's testimony as well as the case file be admitted into the record as evidence, please.
Okay, the case file is part of the record. I will find proper notice with the signed certified mail. I'll find the property remains in violation as cited with the exception of City Code 94302A4, which has complied, and I will grant the relief requested by the city. Thank you.
Case number 23, CE 24102792, case address 3703 North Flagler Drive.
Good morning, Sandy Middle School Compliance Officer for the City of West Palm Beach. Property address 3703 North Flagler Drive was cited on October 3rd, 2024. The property was cited for 94-304-E-2-1-B, and that's installing a permanent fence around the pool area. The property currently has a temporary fencing, which I have been in contact with the owner of the property, and they started the work in regards to doing the permanent fencing, and he has said that the material, getting the material requires an additional 2 months. So with that being said, as of yesterday, the property is still not completely in compliance, and the city is requesting an additional 60 days for the fence, the permanent fence, to be erected, and $200 per day, and split actually for the permit portion of it, an additional 120 days for the permit, with the same $200 per day if the permit is not achieved. Services accomplished by both regular and certified mail sent on October 3rd, 2024. Certified mail is currently still awaiting the pickup from the resident at the post office, unfortunately. In addition, both the property and City Hall were posted on October 4th, 2024. And as I said before, I have been in contact with the owner of the property in regards to the current situation of the pool not being completely secured.
Thank you. Just for some clarity, so I see here one citation violation, pool fence required, and are you asking for 60 days to get a permit for the fence, 120?
No, I'm asking for a split, 60 days to complete the permanent fencing and 120 days to get the permit, because the permit will take some time to get. But in light of the situation with the fencing with the pool, that's the reason for the the 60 days for the fence versus the permitting.
How many days for the permit?
120 days for the permit.
Okay, and once the permit is received, then 60 days to get the fence up and going? Am I missing something?
No, it's required that he gets the fence first and then put in the permit afterwards, just to make sure that the pool gets secured.
Okay.
Currently, there's temporary fencing there, but the temporary fencing was there before, but it was a little bit, it was in disrepair, and he did secure it to some extent, but a permanent fencing is required.
Okay. And you've been in communication with the property owner and they're understanding this?
That is correct. I spoke to him yesterday in regards to why it is that since he started the project to put in the permanent fence, why it's taken so long, and he mentioned that he's waiting for the material to be ordered, so an additional 60 days will be sufficient.
Okay, nothing further at this time, Special Magistrate. We're asking for the code enforcement officer's testimony as well as the case file to be admitted in the record as evidence, please.
Okay, the city's case file is in the record. I need some additional clarification. Is this pool secure right now as we sit here today in terms with the Florida Building Code?
It is secured with a temporary fencing.
Is the temporary fence in compliance with the swimming pool code or portion of the building code?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. That's the clarification I wanted. So this is not an unsecured pool?
It's not an unsecured pool.
Okay.
At the time it was, but he amended that issue.
Okay. Very well, then I do find proper notice, even though the respondent is not present. I find property remains in violation as cited. Given the clarification that the pool is secure, even though the fencing is temporary, I will grant the relief requested by the city.
Case number 24, CE 24052039, case address 640 45th Street.
Good morning, Code Compliance Officer Stanley Mills for the City of West Palm Beach. Property address 640 45th Street was cited on May 22, 2024. The property was cited for 18-106-G paint, as well as 78-94-C swale and parkway, swale/parkway maintenance, 18-103-B condition of the structure, 18-106-K landscape maintenance. As of yesterday, the property has not come into compliance. Therefore, the city is asking for an additional 120 days for compliance to achieve and $200 per day thereafter. Service was accomplished by both regular and certified mail sent on May 23, 2024. Certified mail was left with an individual on May 25, 2024. In addition, both the property and City Hall were posted on September 20, 2024. I have not been in contact with the owner of the property. However, yesterday, someone showed up at City Hall saying that they were the sister of the property owner and requested 6 months to comply the violation to make the resident in living condition.
And what's your request?
The 6 months. I'm sorry, 120 days.
Okay. And how much, if not comply?
200.
Nothing further, Special Magistrate. We're asking for the testimony in the case file to be admitted into the record as evidence, please.
City's case file is part of the record in this case based on the certified mail and the posting in the file. I find proper notice, even though the respondent is not present. I will find property remains in violation as cited and grant the relief requested by the city.
Case number 25, CE 24072338, case address 631 37th Street.
Good morning, Code Compliance Officer Sandy Mills for the City of West Palm Beach. Property address 631 37th Street was cited on July 24, 2024. The property was cited for 78-6-5, number of visibility as well as 74-4-C-4, tree obstructing the right-of-way in the alleyway, as well as 94-302-A-4, fence maintenance. The only thing that has been complied so far is 78-6-5, number visibility. As of yesterday, the property has some more work to be done, and the city is asking for an additional 30 days and $100 per day if compliance is not achieved. Service was accomplished by both regular and certified mail sent on July 25th, 2024. Certified mail was signed for on July 29, 2024. In addition, both the property and City Hall were posted on October 1st, 2024. I have not been in contact with the owner of the property.
And you took the photographs we're looking at today?
That's correct.
And they truthfully and accurately depict what you observed the violations to be?
They do.
And 30 days is a reasonable time, in your opinion?
That's correct, because all they need to do is just repair the fencing.
And it's the only two outstanding violations?
The
at this
fence
time?
as well as the obstruction of the right-of-way in the alley.
Okay, thank you. Nothing further. We are asking for the testimony of the code enforcement officer as well as the case file to be admitted into the record as evidence, please.
Thank you. Respondent is not present. City has proper notice with the signed certified mail. I will find property remains in violation as cited, except for 78-6-5 has complied, and I will grant the relief requested by the city.
Case number 26, CE 24082537, case address 535 36th Street.
Good morning, Sandy Mills, Code Compliance Officer of the City of West Palm Beach. Property address 535 36th Street was cited on August 15, 2024. The property was cited for artificial turf in the swale/parkway, and that's 94-451-D, as well as 78-6-5, number of visibility at the front of the property, 74-4-C-4, hedges obstructing right-of-way, 78-6-2, number location at the back of the property in the alleyway. As of yesterday, the property has complied the number of visibility at the front of the property, which is 78-6-5, as well as the hedges obstructing the right-of-way, which is 74-4-C-4. The outstanding violation currently are 94-451-D, artificial turf in the swale/parkway, as well as 78-6-2, number location address at in the alleyway of the property. The city is asking for an additional 40 days for compliance and $100 per day if compliance is not achieved. Service was accomplished by both regular and certified mail sent on August 15, 2024. Certified mail was signed for on August 19, 2024. In addition, both the property and City Hall were posted on September 2024. I have not been in contact with the owner. However, I have been in contact with the attorney of the owner, John Garcia.
And you took the photographs that we're looking at today?
I have, and they do accurately depict the notice of violation.
And so the violations that are still outstanding is the artificial turf as well as the numbering location?
That's correct, in the alleyway.
Okay, thank you. Nothing further, Special Magistrate. We're requesting that the code enforcement officer's testimony and the case file be admitted as evidence into the record.
Okay, the city's file is part of the record in this case. I find proper notice with the certified mail and the posting, even though the respondent is not present. Based on the testimony and the evidence, I find property remains in violation of City Code 94-451-D and 78-6-2, but has complied with the other code sections originally cited in the notice, and I will grant the relief requested by the city.
Case number 27, CE 24092714, case address 640 46th Street.
Good morning. Code Compliance Officer Sandy Mills for the City of West Palm Beach. Property address 640 46th Street was cited on September 12, 2024. The property was cited for 94-442-C-1 open areas, as well as 94-71-C outdoor storage, 22-32-A certificate of use, 18-106-K landscape maintenance, 22-44-1 rental license. As of yesterday, the property has not come into compliance. The city is asking for an additional 30 days and $200 per day if compliance is not achieved. Service was accomplished by both regular and certified mail sent on September 13, 2024. Certified mail was signed for on September 20, 2024. In addition, both the property and City Hall were posted on October 17, 2024. I have been in contact with the owner of the property, and the pictures do accurately depict the notice of violation.
Thank you so much. Nothing further. Special Magistrate, we're asking for the code enforcement officer's testimony and the case file to be admitted as evidence into the record, please.
The city's case file is part of the record. In this case, respondent is not present. However, I find proper notice with the signed certified mail in the file. Based on the testimony and the evidence, find the property remains in violation as cited and grant the relief requested by the city.
Case number 28, CE 24082444, case address 801 South Olive Avenue, 1018.
Good morning, Kevin Levine, City of West Palm Beach Code Enforcement Officer. The property located at 801 South Olive Avenue, Unit 1018 was cited for failure to obtain a rental license and certificate of use. I would just like to add that I would like to strike 82-151, evidence of engaging in business.
Thank you.
For both cases.
So the city is not proceeding with the alleged violation of City Code 82151, is that?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Special Magistrate, if I may, your previous ruling, which set precedent, is to say that is not that portion of the code does not speak to a violation, but just as instruction as to what is evidence, which was correct.
Okay.
Thanks.
Okay, so to continue, failure to obtain a rental license and certificate of use in violation of City Codes 22-441 and 22-32-A. On August 6, 2024, a notice of violation identifying the violations and my contact information with the hearing date was issued to the property owner. Notice was sent by regular and certified mail. Certified mail was returned on October 28th, Both City Hall and the property was posted on October 18th, and there is an affidavit in the file for the posting. Currently, there is not an active application for a rental license in the system, and the city is requesting 30 days to come into compliance or $200 a day thereafter.
Say that, tell me again the relief requested. I didn't understand what you said.
No, I said currently there is not an application on file for a rental license, so the city is requesting 30 days to come into compliance or $200.
30 and 200, thank you. Got it.
Thank you. Nothing further, Special Magistrate. We're requesting that the testimony and the case file be admitted into evidence.
Okay, the city's case file is part of the record. I find proper notice with the certified mail and posting, even though the respondent is not present. I find property remains in violation of City Code 22-441 and 22-32-A, and I grant the relief requested by the city.
Case number 25, CE 24082505, case address 915 Dock Street has complied. Case number 30, CE 24072348, case address 550 Okeechobee Boulevard, 1514.
Again, Special Magistrate, I'd like to strike 82-151 from this case too.
Okay.
This property was located at 550 Okeechobee Boulevard. Unit 1514 was cited for failure to obtain a rental license and certificate of use in violation of City Codes 22-441 and 22-32-A. On October 8, 2024, a notice of violation identifying the violations, and my contact information was issued to the property owner. Notice was sent by regular and certified mail. Certified mail was returned on October 28th. The City Hall and the property was posted on October 15, 2024, and an affidavit is on file. For this property too, there is not an active application for a rental license on file, so the city is requesting 30 days to come into compliance or $200 a day thereafter.
Okay, thank you. Nothing further, Special Magistrate. You're asking for the case file and the testimony to be accepted into the record, please.
Thank you. The city's case file is part of the record. In this case, respondent is not present, but I find proper notice with the notice documents contained in the file based on the testimony and the evidence. Find the property remains in violation of city codes 22-441 and 22-32A. I grant the relief requested by the city.
Thank you.
Case 31, CE 24082446, case address 716 53rd Street.
This is on 71653rd, correct? Okay.
Correct.
All right, Robert Watkins, City of West Beach Code Compliance. This property was cited on August the 6th. Certified mail was sent August the 6th. Certified mail was received August the 9th. City Hall was posted August the 7th. This property was cited for sodding of the yard and bare areas 94-442C-1, unpaved parking 94-482-A, and outdoor storage 94-71C. As of yesterday, none of the violations had come into compliance. I observed all these violations while on patrol. I have had correspondence with the property management, the property owner. On last month, he advised me that he would put down the grass and get the proper permits, but as of yesterday, nothing was completed. So the city is requesting 30 additional days at $100 per day after until compliance is achieved.
Thank you. And you believe 30 days is a reasonable amount of time?
With the time he already had, yes, ma'am.
Okay. And you took the photographs we're looking at today?
Yes.
And they truthfully and accurately depict the violations that are still outstanding?
Yes, it does.
Thank you. Nothing further, Special Magistrate. We're asking for the Code Enforcement Officer's testimony and the case file to be admitted into the record as evidence, please.
The record does include the city's case file. I find proper notice with the certified mail and posting contained in the file. Based on the testimony and the evidence, find property remains in violation as cited and grant the relief requested by the city.
Case number 32, CE 24082443, case address 716 57th Street, has complied. Case number 33, CE 24082450, case address 422 49th Street.
City of West Beach Code Officer Robert Watkins. This property was cited on August 6th. Certified mail was sent August 6th. Certified mail was received and delivered on August the 9th. City Hall was posted on August the 7th. This property was cited for a certificate of use 22-32-A, rental license 22-441, garbage can placement 74-34A-1-H, excessive growth 74-4C-3, sodding of bare areas 94-442C-1, and outdoor storage 94-71C. As of yesterday, the only violation that's come into compliance was the outdoor storage 94-71C. I have had correspondence with the owner of this property, who also assured me that the things will be taken care of. And as of yesterday, the only thing that had been is the outdoor storage. So for this, the city is requesting additional 30 days at $150 per day after.
Okay. And so the outdoor storage wasn't complied with, you meant
Yes,
to
it
say?
was.
Okay.
Yep.
And the photographs we're seeing, you took those?
Yes, ma'am.
And they truthfully and accurately depict what you observed the violations to be?
Yes.
Thank you. Nothing further, Special Magistrate. We're asking for the Code Enforcement Officer's testimony as well as the case file to be admitted as evidence into the record, please.
City's case file is part of the record. Respondent is not present. However, I find proper notice with posting and certified mail contained in the file. Based on the testimony and the evidence, I find the property remains in violation as cited, except that 9471C has complied. I will grant the relief requested by the city.
Case number 34, CE 24092672, case address 909 3rd Street.
Good morning, Officer Luster with the City of West Palm Beach Code Enforcement. This property was posted on 10/21/2024 along with City Hall. Certified mail was not signed. It was returned to us on 9/17/2024. The property was cited for the following violations: 74-4C3 overgrowth, has complied. 18106A, clean and sanitary conditions, has not complied. Need to pressure wash sidewalks and walk-ups. 94485B1E, pave and mark parking lot. That has not complied. They have to submit the contract and the contractor for doing the work. They have a signed contract as of today, and they're going to go ahead and start getting the permit and lined up. So I'm asking for an additional 90 days to come into compliance, or $100 therefore after. I took all the pictures and verified that they are accurate.
Great, thank you so much. Nothing further, Special Magistrate. We're asking for the code enforcement officer's testimony as well as the photographs and the case file to be admitted into evidence as to the record.
City's case file is part of the record. Respondent is not present, but I find proper notice with the posting following the return of certified mail. Based on the testimony and the evidence, find property remains in violation as cited, except that compliance has been achieved with 74-4C3. I grant the relief requested by the city.
Thank you.
Case number 35, CE 24092721, case address 925 6th Street B.
Officer Luster with West Palm Code Enforcement. Property and City Hall was posted on 10/21/24. Certified mail was signed on 9/20/2024. I've met with the property owner, walked the property on 10/30/2024. This was a complaint from the tenant that resides in Unit B. This is a three-building property, so the entirety of the property was cited. And for the following violations: 78-62, location of address, front and rear, it abuts an alley. 7434A1H, garbage cans in public view. 18124, extermination of pests. 18103G, plumbing fixtures and water supply problems with piping. 9471C, outdoor storage. 18103E, construction of structure, window needed to be...
Video 925B.
Oh, really?
So, remove.
Okay. Okay. Once again, 18-103E, window needed to be replaced, that's complied. 9442C1, landscape maintenance. 18103B, exterior wall and roof, it will need a permit. 18106A, clean and sanitary conditions. 18103J, painting of all buildings. 94302A4, fence maintenance. 18103C, interior walls and ceiling. 34102A, junk abandoned vehicle, that's complied. And 94485B1E, pave and marking of parking lot, that also will need a permit. I'm requesting 120 days for compliance or $100 per day. Most of the violations are in progress. So, like I said, it's a 3-building property, and she's mostly painted everything, almost finished. She got the window fixed. Now she needs to apply for the permit for the driveway and the driveway and one more, and the roof exterior wall. So I was thinking 120 days would be suffice, holidays included, but she can get those permits approved and get the work finished. All the pictures were taken by myself and verified by myself.
Okay, great, thank you. And you believe 120 days is the reasonable amount of time with all the work?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Nothing further. Special Magistrate, we're asking for the testimony, the case file, and photographs to be admitted into the record as evidence, please.
The city's case file is part of the record. Based on the signed certified mail and posting, I will find proper notice even though the respondent is not present. Based on the testimony and the evidence, find the property remains in violation as cited, except for compliance with 18103E and 34102A, and I will grant the relief requested by the city.
Thank you.
Case number 36, CE 24092754, case address 701 5th Street.
Officer Luster, West Palm Code. Property was cited along with City Hall on 10/21/24. Certified mail was signed on 9/30/2024. Property was cited for the violations. 34102A, junk abandoned vehicle, has complied. 7434A1H, garbage cans in public view. 744C1, hazardous tree. And 34102 has complied, along with 34102B has complied, and 94485A has complied. I'm asking for the 2 remaining violations. I'm asking for 40 days because the tree is in a tricky position. FP&L has to get out there and cut it away from the wires, and then she'll do the rest for us cutting the hazardous tree back. It's at the sidewalk, and this building is on a corner lot, which impedes on 5th Street and Sapodilla. So I'm asking for that time for the property owner to be able to handle the hazardous tree and screening off her garbage cans from public view. All pictures were taken by myself and verified.
And you believe 40 days is a reasonable amount of time given the FPL reliance?
She said that she's already contacted FP&L, and they got her on the list for Apluche, which is the company that goes around and does the work for FP&L. So 60 days, if that's a better number. It might need a little more time.
Your recommendation is 60 days?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great,
Let's
thank
do it
you.
that way. You're welcome.
Nothing further, Special Magistrate. We're asking for the code enforcement officer's testimony, the photographs, and the case file to be admitted into the record as evidence, please.
All right, the city's case file is part of the record. So you're asking for 60 days?
Yes, sir.
And I didn't hear the daily fine.
$100 per day
100?
after.
Thank you.
The tree is interfering with the right-of-way, so.
Okay. Respondent's not present, but I do find proper notice with the signed certified mail contained in the file. Based on the testimony and the evidence, I will find the property remains in violation of city codes 7434A1H and 744C1. I find compliance with all other code sections originally cited in the notice, and I will grant the relief requested by the city.
Thank you.
Case number 37, CE 24092711, case address 1458 7th Street.
Complied.
It's been complied?
Been complied.
Okay,
I
thank
forgot
you.
that one this morning.
And then I have case number 38, CE 24082496, case address 1319 11th Street has complied.
Yes, ma'am.
Case number 39, CE 24092719, case address 1421 13th Street is rescheduled.
Yes, ma'am.
And then case number 40, CE 24092729, case address 608 Clear Lake Avenue.
Okay. Officer Luster, West Palm Code. Property was posted along with City Hall on 10/21/24. Cert mail was signed on 9/23/24. Property was cited for the following violations: 74-4C3, overgrowth, complied. 74-4C1, hurricane hazard trees, complied. 74-4C4, trimming of trees obstructing right-of-way, has complied. 74-4C5, cleaning up one half of easement to the right-of-way, complied. 18106A, cleaning sanitary conditions, has not complied. I'm asking for 15 days or $100 per day, pressure cleaning of driveway, sidewalk, and porch. And all pictures were taken by myself and verified by myself.
And so, out of all the violations, they're needing to pressure clean the driveways, what you're saying, as far as 18-106-A?
Yes, ma'am. Driveway, sidewalk, and porch.
Have you been in contact with the
No
property
contact.
owner? They've just complied with the others and not this one?
Mm-hmm. Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry.
Nothing further, Special Magistrate. We're asking for the code enforcement officer's testimony, the photographs, and the case file to be admitted into the record as evidence, please.
City's file is part of the record. Respondent is not present, but I find proper notice with signed certified mail. Based on the testimony and the evidence, find property remains in violation of City Code 18106A, but has complied with all other code sections that were cited in the notice, and I will grant the relief requested by the city.
Thank you. Y'all have a great day.
All right,
Thank you, you too.
does the staff need to take 5 before we proceed with the lien reduction hearing? Okay, let's go ahead and it's 11:54 by the clock in front of me. We will reconvene at 12 o'clock.
It says on air, so I believe we are.
Hey, you want to call the case?
He has to swear in.
Yep, are we good?
Oh, sorry.
All right, good morning, everyone. We'll go back on the record. We're on the other matters agenda for the City of West Palm Beach Code Enforcement hearing for November 6th. It's right after 12 o'clock noon. So we got about 10 cases for requests for fine reductions. So, first of all, if you're going to be talking to me about any of these remaining items on our agenda, I need you to be sworn in. So, if you'll please stand, I'll put everyone under oath together at the same time. Do each of you swear or affirm under penalties of perjury that your testimony at today's hearing will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Yes. Thank you. You can all have a seat. So, when your case is called up, please come up to the podium that's here to my right. For each case, I'm going to get a little bit of background information from the city about the matter, and then I will come back to you, and you'll have the opportunity to make your request for the reduction once I've heard everything from the city and from you. I anticipate entering an order that resolves the matter in some form or fashion this morning. So with that being said, please make sure your cell phones are silenced and go ahead and call the first case that we're going to take up.
Case number 41, CE 05030039, case address 606 Douglas Avenue.
Magistrate, he is also here to represent case, agenda item 42, two separate addresses. Would you like to handle them separately, or would you like to read them all in together?
There are two different addresses, but same respondent.
Same owner, but different properties?
Correct.
Are they related, other than being owned by the same person? We'll take them one at a time.
Okay.
We'll take them back to back, but we'll take them.
Okay, no problem. So for Officer Williams, City of West Palm Beach Code Enforcement, for agenda item number 41, case number CE 05030039, address 606 Douglas Avenue. This case was originally cited March of 2005. They were cited for a failed inspection due to the following violations: vehicles parked on unpaved surfaces, a certificate of use and rental license required, inoperative vehicle, trash and debris or garbage on the property, windows, lighting needing to be repaired, landscape areas needing sod, and the removing boards from the windows of the property. This went to a special magistrate hearing September of 2005. It was ordered for the fine to start as of September 23rd, 2005. This ran for 476 days at $250 a day for a total of $119,000 even. This was complied January 12th, 2007. Service in this case was achieved by way of posting. This was done under the previous owner. So we have an agreement beforehand, Magistrate, to reduce this fine to $2,000 payable within 1 year.
Yes, sir. You can go ahead and put your name on the record. And if there's anything else
Chris
you
Finley
need.
on behalf of the property owner, Francis Hill. But we are in agreement with the resolution.
All right, so you've worked it out. There's an agreed resolution. Do you need me to bless that or verbally author? I mean, if you guys worked it out, that's awesome. If you need me to ratify it, consider it ratified.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
No, I'm sorry, could you just repeat what it was reduced to?
$2,000 payable within 1 year.
All right, so move on to the next case, correct?
Yeah.
All right, 42, case number 42, CE 07030703, case address 811 29th Street.
Officer Williams, City of West Palm Beach Code Enforcement, for agenda item 42, case number CE 07030703, address 811 29th Street. This case was originally cited March 20th, 2007. They were cited for livestock on the property, chickens and roosters, that needed to be removed. This went to special magistrate hearing May 4th, 2007. It was ordered for the fine to start as of May 22nd, 2007. This ran for 702 days at $200 a day for a total of $140,400. This was complied April 23rd, 2009. Service in this case was achieved by certified mailing, posting, as well as regular mailing. This was the same owner, and we also have an agreement for this property magistrate to reduce the fine to $2,000, also payable within 1 year.
All right,
We're in agreement.
and consider it ratified by me. Very good. Thank you very much. I like it when you guys work these out ahead of time.
Yes.
Sir, if you would like to, I have the orders here for you. All right. Case number 43, CE 14070085, case address 712 Park Place.
Officer Williams, City of West Palm Beach Code Enforcement. Agenda item 43, case number CE 70085, address of 712 Park Place. This case was originally cited July 2nd of 2014. They were cited for failure to obtain a rental license and certificate of use. This went to a special magistrate hearing August 27th of 2014 and was ordered for the fine to start as of September 27th, 2014. This ran for 2,753 days at $100 a day for a total of $275,300. Service in this case was achieved by way of posting as well as regular mail. Magistrate, we do have an agreement beforehand to reduce this fine to $15,000 payable within 30 days.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Special Magistrate Burns, I believe.
Beg your pardon?
Special Magistrate Burns or Brian?
Davis.
Davis, I'm sorry. Special Magistrate Davis, we are in agreement on this resolution, and we are prepared to make payment within 30 days.
Very good. I'll ratify that, and congratulations on working it out.
Thank you.
Case number 44, CE 19020234, case address 557th Street.
So Magistrate, for this case address, they are also here for agenda item 49. It is the same address, just two different violations. So would you like to hear them separately as well?
Okay, got it. Let's go ahead and call that one too.
Case number 49, CE 21080122, case address 557th Street.
Okay, Officer Williams, City of West Palm Beach Code Enforcement, for agenda item 44, case number CE 19020-234. This case was originally cited February 19th, 2019. They were cited for fence repair, outdoor storage, exterior of the home needing repair, clean and sanitary conditions, as well as trash can placed in the view of the property. This case went to magistrate hearing April 3rd, 2019. It was ordered for the fine to start as of June 3rd, 2019. This ran for 886 days at $100 a day for a total of $88,600 and was complied November 5th, 2021. Service in this case was achieved by way of certified mail posting and as well as regular mail. This was done under the previous owner. The city requests a reduction of 15% of the lien, which would be $13,290.
Okay, let's go ahead and put the other case on the record too, and then I'll come back over to you, sir, and then we'll deal with both of them together like that.
All right. For agenda item 49, case number CE 21080122. This case was originally cited August 11th, 2021. They were cited for fence needing repair, overgrowth of the yard, as well as outdoor storage. This case went to a magistrate hearing October 6, 2021. It was ordered for the fine to start as of November 8th, 2021. that ran for 150 days at $50 a day for a total of $7,500 and was complied April 7th of 2022. Service in this case was achieved by way of certified mail posting as well as regular mail. Again, this was done under the previous owner. The city requests reduction on this particular case to 15% of the lien, which would be $1,125.
So these are both previous owners?
Correct.
Got it. Okay. Okay. Yes, sir. Go ahead and tell me your name and address, and then we can talk about both cases.
Hey, good morning. My name is Joel Barrett. I'm in regards to 557th Street. So we are in compliance fully right now. I represent the new owner. But we're kindly requesting if we can do $2,000 and pay in 30 days for the overall amount.
I mean, tell me why.
I mean, it's been a lot of headache. You know, we're newly in the area and we're invested in other properties. We have other violations that we recently cured as well. So we are actively working diligently with the city right now to cure everything, which we've been doing a good job for the past 2 months. So, you know, we're just asking for somewhat of a break. I don't know if it's possible, but 2,030 days, if that would be okay with you, Special Magistrate, that would be great.
Okay. Anything else from the city on this before I enter an order?
No, sir.
All right. So working backwards, the 2021 case, this is agenda item 49. The lien is $7,500. I'm going to reduce that to $500. Agenda item 44 is the 2019 case. The lien amount is $88,600. I'm going to reduce that to $2,000, so it's a total of $2,500. Can you pay those within 30 days?
Yes, that'll be fine, sir.
Payable within 30 days, both. Okay? Very good. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Sir, I have the orders. All right. Agenda item, case number 2045, CE 18060400, case address 3501 North Australian Avenue.
All right.
Good afternoon.
Officer Williams, City of West Palm Beach Code Enforcement. Case number CE 18060400, address 3501 North Australian Avenue, was originally cited June 18th of 2018. They were cited under Florida Building Code for installation of exterior doors, 2 toilets replaced without a permit or inspections, and there was a stop work order issued June 21st of 2017. This went to a special magistrate hearing August 15th of 2018. It was ordered for the fine to start as of August 26, 2018. This ran for 270 days at $100 a day for a total of $27,000 even, and this was complied on May 23rd, 2019. This was done under the same owner. There's 16 cases for this particular address with code enforcement. The city requests a reduction to 25% of the lien, which would be a total of $6,750.
Say that number again, please.
Say again?
6,000.
6,750.
6,750. Did you say the work that was done without a permit was an exterior door?
Exterior door and 2 toilets, I believe, Your Honor.
Yes, it was an exterior door and 2 toilets.
Okay. All right. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Yes, my name is John Paxman. I'm here on behalf of Mangonia Ventures, the owner of this parcel. We're also here on item 47, which is next door, same owner.
Oh, okay.
And this is Scott Diamond, who's the principal of Mangonia Ventures. But if I could start.
Yep.
It's really simple. There was an occupant in this building, non-tenant occupant. As soon as we figured out that there was a problem and it was a tenant-done item, client pulled permits for it so it could be inspected. Unfortunately, occupant would not allow inspector into the premises, which caused a kind of an impossibility of inspection, which caused the fine to accrue over time. Correct, Mr. Diamond?
Correct. So basically, a
occupant who was not a tenant, was not paying rent, occupied the property, changed the door, changed the toilet. We were cited, and then we did everything we possibly could to come into compliance.
Okay.
I mean, we would ask that this fine be reduced to nothing, but we understand that we're going to get something, sir. We'd ask that it be $500 if possible.
All
And
right.
we pay in within 1 month as well.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the
And
last.
we could pay in 1 month as well.
Oh, okay, thank you for that. Anything else, gentlemen, before I give the city a chance to respond?
No, sir.
Anything else from the city?
No, sir.
All right. All right, based on what I've been presented with here and the circumstances, we have the original lien is $27,000. I'm going to reduce that to $1,500 payable within 30 days, you said?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Very good.
Could we hear 47 as well, Your Honor?
Yeah, if you guys are here for agenda item 47, let's call that one up next.
Case number 47, CE 15040344, case address 3507 North Australian Avenue.
Officer Williams, City of West Palm Beach Code Enforcement. Agenda item 47, case number CE 15040344, address 3507 North Australian Avenue. It was originally cited April 22nd, 2015. They were cited for unpermitted use, reasonable accommodations, I guess overcrowding of the unit. This went to a special magistrate hearing June 3rd of 2015. It was ordered for the fine to start as of August 3rd, 2015, and that ran for 59 days at $100 a day for a total of $5,900, and this was complied October 1st, 2015. Again, same owner. There's 27 cases with code enforcement under their ownership. This service in this case was achieved by way of certified mail as well as regular mail. So the city requests a reduction of this lien to 25%, which will be $1,475.
All right, gentlemen, just since it's a different case, identify yourselves again, and then tell me about what's going on with this one.
Yes, John Paxman on behalf of the owner, Mangonia Ventures LLC.
And Scott Diamond.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
This is a situation, Your Honor, where my client got his occupational permit, rented to a sober home. The lease specifically called for the sober home to obtain the necessary sober home permitting, which is beyond the scope of what most landlords do. And the sober home did apply for its permits then, after, I believe, after being cited. And they were able to get a passage of inspection for almost everything, except I believe the fire marshal had one issue with it. Would you like to elaborate, Mr. Diamond?
Yes, it was a tenant that I leased the property to, and the wellness center of Palm Beach had to obtain certain permits themselves, and my understanding is I'm basically being cited on this one because of things that the tenant did not do or did not comply with. Then they did comply with it, and there was a time lag in that because when they did the fire inspection, I guess there was something that had to be done and just took longer than the time allotted. I believe normally on these things they will usually give you a little bit longer to comply with those, but it didn't happen at that point in time. So we're asking to waive this fine if possible.
Okay, yeah, what caught my attention is you used the term reasonable accommodation. So was this a case where property owners actually sought a Fair Housing Act, ADA, reasonable accommodation to operate the sober home at this address?
Just reading the notes here from the officer who initiated the case, it says unpermitted use, unrelated people / reasonable accommodation, but they didn't really go into
Reasonable
detail.
accommodation is a very particular thing, and if maybe I can ask you guys, is that your understanding of what happened? Was there a reasonable accommodation request under Fair Housing or ADA to run it as a sober home?
I mean, it was a 6 or under occupant sober home, which automatically runs under that, I believe, Your Honor, if it's asked for.
Okay. And then the reasonable accommodation was granted Or I guess, explain to me exactly what the violation was that was cited. What was the 94-6 violation? What happened that caused this to come to code enforcement and get a fine?
You have it?
Hi, Mark Joyce. So yeah, 94-6 is that the fact that they wanted to run the property as a sober home, which basically you have more unrelated people in the home than you're allowed to in a single-family home. So in order to use that single-family home as a sober home, you have to get approval through the city, and including a reasonable accommodation.
Right, that's the reasonable accommodation hearing.
So the one thing I would say about both of these properties, they were not very well managed. I think we had 16 or 27 cases other than this case. The other one had about 17 cases. I mean, like 40 cases between these two properties with code enforcement. Not very well managed, and you know, the neighborhood had to deal with those properties, you know. So I certainly wouldn't be amenable to more than a 75% reduction, which is quite generous in this situation.
I'm still trying to understand what the violation was. Did they operate it as a sober home prior
Yes.
to getting a reasonable accommodation approval?
Yes.
Right, looking at the NOV magistrate, that seems to be the case. It wasn't being used as a single-family dwelling, meaning they were running it as a sober home before getting those proper documentation to do that.
And then the reasonable accommodation was subsequently granted, which brought it into compliance with that issue. Is that
correct, sir?
Is that what happened?
Correct.
All right.
May I refute?
To respond to that.
Thank you, Your Honor. So this particular area of Australian has a lot of car traffic. And we've been cited before for garbage left on the front of that property and other violations. In terms of the management of the property, these are every code violation we had since 2006, since I've owned these two properties, are tenant-related issues. So it's not the ownership doing something that's causing these code violations. So, and when the tenant, and you have tenants, and you can only control so much that a tenant does, when we're cited or when we have the discussion with code enforcement, we immediately get on remedying that. I'm a resident of West Palm Beach, and I live within a mile or less of this, and I certainly care that these properties are well managed, well maintained, and well kept up, and not causing violations at all. I think it's just unfair to us that we, through no fault of our own, have to pay a fine related to this particular violation. If we were given even 30 days more, it would have come, because it came on into compliance. It was just waiting for a reasonable accommodation on it. So that's my take on it, but whatever you feel is.
And I understand that, but if it was being operated as a sober home before the reasonable accommodation was granted, well, that's not the way you do it.
I'm not 100% sure that it was, so.
And that's the testimony that I received from the
Understand.
city, so if you have evidence to the contrary, I'd be happy to hear that.
Do we know?
I'm sorry, I just, speaking with Mr. Diamond's.
Sure. What I was saying is that, so the testimony that I got from the city is that the violation is based on the property being operated as a sober home and contrary to the city's code regarding the definition of family. I mean, this happens all the time.
I just was given.
But prior to the reasonable accommodation being granted. So what I was saying is that if you have testimony or evidence that that's not the case, I'll be happy to consider that. But my understanding right now is that it was being operated as a sober home prior to the reasonable accommodation being granted.
Okay, this is Mr. Sam Diamond, who sometimes manages the affairs for Scott
Yes,
Diamond.
he was sworn in also.
He has something he'd like to add to this, which might clarify what the question you just asked.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. I believe this was a renewal of their license. It was the sober home license, and they didn't renew it properly, and then the tenant came in on a violation, and he met with apparently a Mr.
Well, someone from code?
Yeah, there's what is his name here? I met from a gentleman from code, and they had an agreement that the tenant failed to comply with. That's how we ended up with the story. So
Okay.
I believe they did have a license originally, it just they didn't they didn't renew it properly, they needed an inspection, and then somehow they fouled it up.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, thank you for that. Let me let the city have an opportunity to give a final response if desired, and then I'm prepared to enter my order on this one.
The one thing I would add is that, you know, he's responsible for ultimately what his client is doing, and if he's, you know, basically as the owner, he needs to make sure that he's renting it to people who are acting legally.
Okay, nope, I got it. All right. 2015 cases has a $5,900 lien. I'm going to reduce that to $1,100. Can you do that within 30 days as well?
Yes.
All right, so ordered. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, what do we got left?
All right. Going back to case number 46, CE 19080257, case address 3723 Morton Ave.
Officer Williams, City of West Palm Beach Code Enforcement. Agenda item 46, case number CE 19080257, address 3723 Morton Avenue. This case was originally cited August 13th, 2019. They were cited for clean and sanitary conditions, interior paint needed, interior floors needing to be redone or improved. They were sinking in and uneven. Toilet needed to be repaired. Interior and exterior doors needing to be properly weather tight. Ceiling damage, rotten wood leaking from the roof that needed to be repaired. Kitchen equipment that needed to be also repaired and functional. Kitchen appliances, that needed to be repaired and functional. Cabinets and countertops that were damaged and in disrepair. Interior walls damaged that needed to also be repaired. Outside storage, Christmas lights hanging from the structure, light fixtures that were damaged and needed to be repaired. The steps and walkways that need to be pressure cleaned. Sod required in the front yard, and exterior paint needed for the exterior of the home, as well as the fence needing to be repaired. This case went to a special magistrate hearing October 2nd, 2019. It was ordered for the fine to start as of March 31st, 2020. That ran for 777 days at $250 a day for a total of $194,250. And this was complied May 17th of 2022. Service in this case was achieved by way of posting as well as regular mail. This was done under the previous owner, so the city requests a reduction to 15% of the lien, which would be $29,137.50.
Thank you. All right, yes, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor. My name is Scott Alexander. I'm with Kanga Property Management, and we handle this property for the owner.
Okay.
I'm the office manager, and sorry we've gotten to this point. We had a boots-on-the-ground manager of this property that is no longer with our company, and they were responsible for ushering the owner through compliance. Obviously, this didn't happen. The current owner has made significant investment in this property since 2020 of approximately $123,000. The 6 cottages were built in the 1920s and were in a state of advanced disrepair when purchased. They have now been greatly improved and better contribute to this neighborhood. I have photos here of the recent renovations as well as historical repairs made, and we're asking for the maximum reduction allowed and apologize for the delay in coming into compliance. Thanks for working with us.
So was the owner that you represent, the ones that got it back into compliance after they acquired it?
Yes, sir.
And what did they put into it to bring it?
Well, it's been since 2020, this new owner, it's been about $123,000, and I have all the historical repairs here that they've done.
Okay.
Yep.
120?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Would you care for these documents?
I don't need to see them. I take your word for it that
Okay.
that's what, that that's the number that they invested in bringing it back online into compliance. Does the city want to put anything else on the record in this case?
No, sir.
All right. All right, so in this case, we have a lien of $194,250. Prior owner, current owner invested about $120,000 to get this out of violation into compliance. I'm going to reduce this to $5,000. Can you pay that within 30 days?
Yes, sir.
Done. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
All right, case number 48, CE 23040101, case address 500 Executive Drive, 3L.
Officer Williams, City of West Palm Beach Code Enforcement. Agenda item 48, case number CE 230400101, address of 500 Executive Center Drive, Unit 3L. This case was originally cited April 11th, 2023. They were cited for failure to renew their rental license and certificate of use, making it delinquent. This went to a special magistrate hearing June 7th, 2023. It was ordered for the fine to start as of June 20th, 2023. This ran for 71 days at $100 a day for a total of $7,100 and was complied August 30th of 2023. Service in this case was achieved by way of posting in regular mail. This was done under the same owner. Magistrate, we do have an agreement beforehand to reduce this fine to $1,500 payable within 180 days.
Okay. Yes, sir. You, go ahead and tell me your name and just verify that you're on board with the agreement as presented by the city.
Okay. Good morning. Well, no morning. My name is...
Morning sailed.
Yeah. My name is Jose Gregorio Moreno Suarez, and the son of the owner of the property. I mean, I live there in that property, and I have an agreement with the guy because
Okay.
I know I failed to pay it opportunely.
Okay, then I will ratify the agreement and thank you for working that out.
Thank you so much.
All right, one to go. Let's bring this in for a landing.
Two left, Magistrate.
Yep. All right, case...
Two to go. Sorry, you snuck that one in on me.
Case number 50, CE 23070402, case address 516 49th Street, 1.
All right, agenda item number 50, case number CE 230700402, address of 516 49th Street, unit number 1. This case was cited back in June of 2023. It was ordered for they were cited for doors and windows needing to be weather tight, as well as the repair to the restroom, the toilet, and sink needing to be made impervious to water and kept in clean and sanitary condition. This went to a special magistrate hearing September 20th, 2023. It was ordered for the fine to start as of October 31st, 2023. This ran for 331 days at $200 a day for a total fine of $66,200 and was complied September 26th of 2024. Service in this case was achieved by way of posting as well as regular mail. Magistrate, we do have an agreement beforehand to reduce this fine to $8,500 payable within 90 days.
Okay.
Good
Yes,
afternoon,
ma'am.
Magistrate. I just wanted to add, a little bit of context.
Let me get your
here.
name.
Sydney Satz is
Yes,
my
ma'am.
name.
Thank
I
you.
represent the former property owner of the property. So there's a new owner. There's an escrow agreement between the parties. He has an interest in the escrow agreement. And of course, he had to bring the property into compliance prior to the sale. We were here in June of this past year for a lien mitigation hearing, and the city has been so wonderful to work with. We were given a very gracious reduction, but there was an additional violation that we were not aware of that didn't come up in the lien search at the time that the property came for the lien reduction hearing. I understand that in the code, the property has to be fully complied in order to go for a lien reduction. Our client had no idea that there was an additional violation kind of hiding out in the background. It only came up when he went to get a release from the current owner with the escrow agreement. Because we didn't know about the additional violation at the time, and our client didn't know that there was a violation pending, he really didn't have the opportunity to bring it into compliance. If we had known in June, we would have immediately worked to remedy the issue. As soon as he became aware, which was in around August of this year, I believe, toward the end of August. It took him about a month to bring it into compliance, but he moved as quickly as he could. The circumstances here, if you would be so inclined, Mr. Magistrate, we would request a further reduction. We have been here twice. I understand that these things happen, but if there's anything else that we could do in light of that, that would be excellent.
Okay, well, I appreciate you being here, appreciate your comments and working it out, and most of the time, if somebody has something to say about city staff, they're complaining about something. So, I work, I think the city's staff here is awesome. They do such a great job, so it's refreshing to hear somebody give them the credit that I believe they deserve as well. So thank you for that. But I will approve and ratify the agreement, and good luck to you.
I'm so sorry, is there any additional mitigation that you would be inclined
If
to
you guys
provide?
have worked it out amongst yourselves, I'm not going to interfere with that, no. Yeah.
I believe that was the representation, that there was an agreement
I understood
prior.
I know, I'm
a
sorry, you
written
guys.
agreement.
I spoke to our client, and I just wanted to see if there was anything, with the context of this, if there was anything that the magistrate would be
Now,
inclined to
is there an
grant.
agreement or is there not an agreement?
We had discussed it outside beforehand, yes.
Okay, so we're bringing the agreement to the table before the special magistrate, correct?
Yes, I was just curious if the magistrate would be inclined to.
No,
grant
I'd be
anything
inclined
further.
to go along with that 8,500 under the circumstances. I think
Understood.
that's appropriate.
Understood.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Now let's bring it in for a landing.
Safely, yay.
All right, and last but not least, case number 51, CE 23100-898, case address 5805 Pinewood Avenue.
Ma'am? Oh.
All right, for agenda item 51, case number CE 23100-898, address 5805 Pinewood Avenue, was originally cited back in August of 2023. They were cited for, and I left that page at my desk. I apologize, Magistrate. I left the page at my desk for the actual violations.
They're on the agenda.
They were cited for trash can in view of the public, clothes hanging on the fence in view of the public, as well as outdoor storage. This went to a special magistrate hearing December 6th of 2023. It was ordered for the fine to start as of January 6, 2024. That ran for 68 days at $100 a day for a total of $6,800 and was complied March 14, 2024. Service in this case was achieved by way of posting as well as regular mail. This was the same owner. There's been about 6 cases with code enforcement under their ownership, magistrate. So the city requests a reduction to 25% of the lien, which would be $1,700.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, gentlemen. Mr. Marcos, nice to meet you. First time, thank you for your job. My name is Ronnie Ranshua. I represent the owners. I'm the property manager.
Okay.
We received this case late because we were in the middle of transaction of switching management companies. The certified mail that was sent was signed not by us. None of us. We moved to a different office and we changed the address. Since I got the complaint, the violations, I did everything I can in my hands to cure them. He gonna tell you how many times I'm calling to the city. I'm on top of that. I think that we don't, for the time that the owners have that violation, we never had any issues. This is the first time, and we are on top of that. That's why I would like to ask you if you can reduce it to the minimum that you can.
Okay. Thank you very much. Anything else from the city on this one? All right. 2023 case, the lien is $6,800. I'll reduce that to $1,200. Can you pay that within 30 days?
$1,000?
$1,200. I only go up from my first number. So 30 days, or do you need more time?
That's okay.
30 days, so ordered. Thank you very much. All right. Is there anything else for the good of the order before we adjourn for the day?
No, sir. That is all.
It's about 1:45, and having concluded our business, we stand adjourned.
Thank you, sir.